What's going on Tuesday, Painter people? I am back from Europe, and I have stories to tell, but I also have Greyjoy models to paint. And so we'll be doing both today, looking at painting these Ironborn archers for Kill Your Friends, which we're shooting on Friday. Very exciting. Before I get too deep though, let's thank some subs that we got. We got 5 subs from Twizzlehaps. We also got a sub recently from Mr. Funkadizzle. Hey guys, I got to see my unbox and it is so awesome. Thank you. You're welcome, Mr. Funkadizzle. Also, Ferdaberta. I fucking love that name. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it as well.
Ferdaberta says, guess I could paint some dwarves while this is going on.
Hell yeah, Ferdaberta.
Yeah. We also had Travel Cedric, resubscribed 21 months. And Lord Arcan, 15 months. Time to get moist. Hell yeah. And Crazy Vazy, 9 months in a row.
Thank you very much, guys, for the sub. I appreciate it, y'all. Thank you, Malev. Good to be back. Route the Great. Love the content. A sub is the least I can do. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. Also, Adric Knight with the 13 months. Hey, I'm back from Japan. Fuck yeah, dude. Went to Japan? It's awesome. Love to hear that. Hey, Ams. Twizzlehaps also just subbed on a 16-month streak, and Xanderzone 2424 on a 14-month streak. Where are all these subs coming from? You guys are crazy. That was a lot.
It's because they didn't sub last week when I was streaming. They saved them all for you, Scott.
All right, chat. I need to hear the review. How did Evan do? This is part of his performance review. What you say impacts his job. So don't lie to me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm painting a miniature I just picked up while visiting Italy. Very cool. Like at Monty San Savino, or just because you happen to also be in Italy? Evan needs a raise.
Hell yeah.
Everyone's going all these cool places. I'm just over here faking sick for shits and giggles. Hell yeah, dude. I feel that. Evan made chat cry. God damn it, Evan.
Just visiting Florence.
Very cool.
Stumbled across an Italian-friendly local game store and decided to give them my patronage.
Very nice. So the way we'll try to make this work is I'm gonna paint and y'all should ask me questions and then I will answer them while I continue to paint because I got a lot to paint and not a lot of time, so I got to get this done.
Indeed, and you know what? Let's kick things off. Just Seppuku says, Scott, congrats again on gold. Also, sorry that the German demons woke you up at the witching hour, but hey, they wake me up every night at 3 a.m. too. Tell us about your Monte experience, Scott. For those that don't know, you did enter some stuff.
Yeah, so I entered the Ranger, which is my wood elf that I painted for my Kickstarter, the one that's crouching and holding a severed head. I brought that with, and I also brought Pizza Boy with. And the categories at Monte, I didn't really, I was so pressed for time before I left that I didn't really look into what the actual categories were. I kind of just assumed there'd be like a bust category, a single fig category, a single fig sci-fi, a single fig fantasy, kind of the things that I was used to. But that's not how it worked. There was fantasy painting, there was open fantasy, and there was sci-fi painting and open sci-fi. And basically, what the difference between those two categories is if your piece is meant to show off your painting skills, you should put the piece in a painting category. And so both my pieces weren't like trying to show off anything other than painting. So I put them both in a painting category. And I had to think, am I gonna put Pizza Boy, this comic book style, vibrantly painted model, into historical? Because it isn't sci-fi and it isn't fantasy. But no, I did not do that.
It's a fantasy pizza.
Yeah, it's a fantasy pizza. So I put them both in fantasy painting because they were both about painting, and it didn't make sense for the other one to go into historical, at least based on what the other entries in historical looked like. So because of that, because both my entries were in the same category, I got one award for them. Fucking awesome. and it was a gold, which was really cool. I've never won an award for my miniature painting, literally ever, like at a what you might call a prestigious event. I might have won at like a store competition or something like that, but I've never won at an actual like known event. That was really cool.
Yeah, so now when people are trying to figure out which Scott they're talking about, I can, instead of saying Scott, my boss, Scott, I can say Scott, award-winning miniature painter, Scott.
Fuck yeah. Which piece won? I asked that question as well, and they didn't delineate. They didn't say which one.
They just stared at you menacingly?
Yeah, they're like we didn't like one over the other. They were both like good enough for the award. This is all secondhand information, by the way. I wasn't there. I asked that same question, and that's what Roman told me. So I didn't get that info directly from the judges, though.
Yeah, you had to leave slightly early, right?
Yeah, I left 7 a.m. the morning of the award ceremony. Just so I could get started on these Greyjoys, get started on my insane inbox of emails that I have been neglecting. But yeah, so that's secondhand information. That's what I heard. But yeah, it was cool. Steve Martin sent me a picture of the little gold coin that I got, and he's going to be shipping it to me, I think today or tomorrow. But yeah, that was the competition. It was just kind of crazy to go to Monte for a lot of reasons. Like when I was like getting super into miniature painting again, like when I took a break and I got back into it in college, I'd always see all these pictures of these European painters on Facebook having like dinner together, and like it always seemed so far away and so like exclusive and like the cool kids club and all this shit. And so it was just really awesome to like go to Italy and kind of be a part of that, for the first time in my life, went out to dinner with a lot of people that I really admire. And we had really intense conversations about miniature painting and like the art form of miniature painting.
Wait, you went out to dinner and you were intense?
Yeah, dude, we didn't like to eat indoors. We wanted to eat outside, but it was cold, so we ate in tents.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it was really cool to like kind of get to do the thing that, I saw like people that I consider to be like rock stars in the miniature painting sense do when I was like first getting back into the hobby. So that was kind of surreal. That was the first thing that was like, wow, this is special.
Also, I wanna say we didn't shout it out because you were right in the middle of your meddling story, but Reaper Miniatures just rated us for the party of 40.
Woo!
Thank you, Reaper.
Thank you, Reaper. Again, you rated at the perfect time.
And Lumix Beast subscribed in the middle of your story too.
Lumix Beast, thank you.
Anyway, please continue.
Absolutely. So we're talking about Monty San Savino and not the thing that happened before Monty, which was the me getting a private coaching from Roman. But we can also talk about that too.
Roman's secrets.
Yes, all of his secrets. Okay, I need to actually devote some mental energy to what I'm going to do next on these guys. Okay, I just painted their teal, like sash things. Here, I'll show you the nice.
Yeah, they totally are like wearing like
something weird.
Harnesses.
Yeah, we'll call it a harness. So I painted the teal thing with contrast paint. I did some airbrushing with brown and cream. Now what should I do? Gucci-licious, excuse me. Thank you for the Prime sub.
Appreciate it. Finally caught a painting stream.
Hell yeah, brother. I got some overspray on the brown, and I think I can fix that other than the belt in the middle there, like where it's really bad, with some highlighting. So that should be okay. The question is do I want to wash some stuff right now? And I think I do. I think I want to wash some of this cream. Okay, I'm gonna do that with. Everyone loves Aggro Dunes, so we'll do it with that. Wait, no, Skeleton Horde's one everyone loves. Okay, continuing on with the story. The other thing that was amazing about Monty San Savino. Wow, it was the first one I pulled. What are the fucking odds of that? Awesome.
How many paints do you have in there?
Okay, I don't know. It was awesome to see just how much the medium of miniature art can be stretched. There was just crazy stuff at this show, and like everything had a place. It wasn't like there you know, it's like no holds barred competitive miniature painting. Like it wasn't just GW products and a bunch of display models like you might see at Crystal Brush, which is the thing that I'm most familiar with and can compare it to most. There was just so much stuff that was so cool. This very small example, there was like comic book panels glued in a really cool orientation, like on the backdrop of a model that like aided the story of the diorama that it was showing off. And they were like cool illustrations with like comic book like lettering and stuff, and that was awesome. There was a Moby Dick diorama where like the whale was coming out of the book. The book was part of the diorama, and that was crazy. There was so much stuff like that where it's just like, you know, I might have not thought that this was like a thing that you could do without it just like being distracting for the judges or whatever it may be. And so it's just really cool to see like how creative it really can be. And then also, damn, dude, the competition was insane. I think, oh, also, another important thing is that I entered my pieces into standard fantasy. There's also fantasy master and open fantasy master. It's also storytelling and storytelling master, standard and master. They delineate that like Nova Open might do. Okay, let's see what this looks like. I don't know if I want to do this. The cream color is already pretty dark, and if I just like highlight it a little bit, that might be good enough. But do I need a wash? Who knows? Carly Carve, Nox Geek, thank you for the subs. Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, what else was I saying?
We're talking about motorcycles.
Motorcycles?
Yeah, you know.
Oh, I was just speaking generally about the event. So yeah, it was really cool just to see how creative you could be, and there was no restrictions, you know? I feel like when a lot of people talk about painting for Golden Demon, the questions that you're asking are like, what can't I do? Like, what is going to be a liability? What is going to harm my chances in winning? That question is asked a lot. And here, it just seems like that wouldn't be a question that you would ask. You just do the coolest shit you can do, and that's it. You know? So that was a really cool difference. Mycelium Veins, thank you for the congratulations. RG Hanomic and also Star Wars Geek, thank you for the subs. Appreciate it, guys. It looks like Jay Mills has got a question for you, Evan.
Oh. How do you do the camera transition with two hands on the miniature? It's easy. You just grow a second personality that manifests off camera.
Nice.
Indeed. Crazy Vasey has it right. You just have a very powerful chair.
A very powerful chair. Yeah, I have a... Oh, I guess maybe he didn't even know that I have a stream producer. Yeah, I have someone else who's controlling the camera transitions.
Indeed.
Or I'm doing it with my feet?
We should explore that option.
I mean, we could do that.
Foot pedal stream. Also, Star Wars Geek resubscribed. And RG Hanomic. And Mycelium Veins. All re-upping their memberships.
You know, I might be able to use this skeleton horde to solve some issues with overbrushing, which would also simultaneously highlight them, because where I got the cream colored paint was like on the tops of things, like on the tops of the quiver, for instance, and that might be pretty slick. I might do that. You're right. A lot does make a foot pedal. You're right. No foot pedals. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, it's not super great when there's a ton of overspray, like on this glove here, but
$90.
Oh, wait, what?
The foot pedal.
Oh, okay. That's I'm gonna donate $90.
That would be cool too.
That would be cool as well.
We would not use it to buy an Elgato foot pedal.
On night one of Monty San Savino, there's like an initiation process that you have to do if you're a new person. There's like a pavilion outside of this beautiful historic building where the convention takes place. It's not very big. It's pretty small. You know, there's a couple rooms scattered throughout Monty San Savino. They're kind of in a little cluster, but the main building is like 2 rooms connected by a hallway that have a ton of miniatures in both of them. And there are other miniatures elsewhere, but like this is where the most of the models are, right in these 2 rooms. And right outside of that building is a pavilion that people kind of hang out at. The event is like largely socializing and looking at pre-models. That's like it. There is a vendor hall, but it's kind of small, which, you know, that's not why I was there. I didn't buy a single thing, so I didn't mind. But yeah, so outside in the pavilion on night one, Francesco Farabi, who's like largely responsible for running this event, makes this special concoction. You can actually see it, I think, on the Monty San Savino Facebook group, where he's brewing it. You got a big wooden spoon, and you have to drink the drink. It's alcoholic, while kneeling on the ground, and you have to scream, "I am a believer." I heard so many stories about this, like leading up to it. Someone was like, "They're going to circumcise you." Like people like, "It's going to be you're getting initiated into a cult." It seemed a little bit like that, but it was totally hilarious, and I definitely fucking let it rip with the loudest and angriest death metal vocals that I could, which people seem to enjoy. But that was fun. Drink tasted kind of spicy, sweet, you know, kind of like not like Fireball exactly, but like in that family. It was like a kind of an apple-y, kind of autumnal drink, and it was hilarious. Scott's on a call now. Got it. Yeah, exactly.
Another cult is the best way of putting it.
But yeah, that was a cool experience for sure.
HUD the Hobby Daddy asking the important questions in chat. Scott, what does Roman Lapat smell like?
He didn't like smell like anything in particular, which is good. He didn't smell. He smelled so German. Like I have no idea how to answer the question. But no, he was.
Smelled like bratwurst.
Yeah. That was so. Before this, I had gone to Augsburg to do a private coaching with Roman Lapat. And then we drove together with another painter named Johannes. You can find him on Instagram at, I think it's Hawkins Miniature Art. He has this really cool Mordheim diorama that he is working on. And so the private coaching was also pretty amazing. I haven't invested in my own miniature painting education in a really long time. Not because I don't want to, just because I don't know. It's been a long time, and I kind of just been painting how I want to paint, kind of just taking it easy, not doing anything too crazy, and so it was really good to hear and get some insight into someone else's approach to the hobby, both the theory of it and also the practical steps as well. Because I guess the way I looked at Roman was that he was very theoretical in the way that he approached the hobby, but he had a lot of very practical advice for me. Just to give a brief example, one such piece of advice was he told me to be a lot more intentional about my brushstrokes, because when I paint, I'm pretty kind of crazy. I don't really think a lot about is the paint that I'm currently touching with my brush partially dried? Am I going to create some kind of micro texture that might build up over several layers of paint and become an issue later on. Like, I don't really care about that. And he was the opposite, which was bizarre for, Roman Lapat. You kind of think he's kind of free spirit and he doesn't really care a whole lot about, like if he gets a little bit of micro texture, but no, he was pretty serious about it. He was like, you should, first of all, like brush in such a way that you're not going to touch that drying paint again in like 5 seconds. So if it's like a 5-second gap, that's fine, but otherwise leave it alone, let it dry fully, get nice, clean layers for your base coats. So that was kind of a weird thing. And he had like some advice on how to like best do that. But that was cool. Excluding Winsor & Newton and Raphael, what would be your top 5 brushes? Da Vinci Series 35. Would probably be my favorites. But what we learned about at the private coaching with Roman was there was color theory. So we started out with a lot of kind of experiments where we would, he got out paints. So that we had 3 rounds. First round was easy, second round was medium difficulty, third round was hard, where he would have me color match those miniature painting paints like from Vallejo and other brands with 3 primary colors. And so I had to kind of identify what was the problem with my current mix, adjust it slightly to get to various colors. And then it got like really difficult toward the end where I was doing like slight shades of gray and brown and trying to really like nail like a yellowy, sickly greenish brown. It was like, how do you really get that? And so we kind of started out in a color theory world. And then we used those tools to look into how to paint with atmosphere. And there was a lot of theory about how to paint with atmosphere, like I expected, but also there was, again, some practical steps on how to accomplish atmospheric painting. I don't feel like super great about just like kind of regurgitating all the info he told me. I'd rather try to like absorb it and make it my own, and then kind of make a video about like how I took his advice and melded it with my style and my approach to the hobby and kind of made the most of it. But those were like the highlights. And then in between, we had just great conversation about the hobby and about other things as well. And it kind of was just like, we were just chilling, It was like a long, like hobby hangout. We painted like 12 hours each day. So it was pretty intense, but we were just, there was education every once in a while.
12 hours?
Yeah, it was.
My God,
it was a lot of painting. So it was intense, but like there was good education, but also just like we were just kind of chilling and like having a paint hangout with your buddy.
I can't imagine painting in a tent for 12 hours.
Yeah, I know, it was brutal.
Slogonics, subscribe with Prime.
Thank you, Slogonics. Is there a skill gap between European and U.S. mini painters?
I was just about to ask.
Maybe, it's hard to say with any kind of real certainty. But there definitely are more hobbyists in Europe that are able to make a living of it, just because of, honestly, national reasons like free healthcare. You don't have to worry about covering that if you're trying to do this for a living. They have stipends for people who are in the art world in Europe, so they can like earn money while trying to make a living on art. And so because of those reasons and lots of other reasons as well, there are more people that are involved artistically in the hobby in Europe. And maybe because of that, more of them are more of them are better at painting than Americans. Americans also seem to be focused more on the game and less on the art of it. Maybe that's because the gaming is a better pastime and you could do that in your free time, as opposed to if you had it all the time in the world, maybe you would look in the art, like if you could do it for full time. So it's hard to say like what's related, like why, like why it is, if it even is a thing, like, but those are some theories perhaps. It's almost like having a solid social safety net is really good for small business owners. Oh, absolutely. When I took Roman's workshop many years ago, we painted for 12 to 15 hours and then watched the making of The Last Light Diorama. Nice, that's cool. Basically more opportunity. Yeah, it's more accessible, I guess would be the term. But that's only like one part of it, right? There's probably other things too. Like Europe, I get the sense, has a very strong connection to tradition. Whereas because America is a newer country, relatively speaking, we have less of a connection to tradition. And a lot of those European countries have very deep roots in art. And so they, and because they do have a strong connection to tradition, like that was so obvious in so many things that people did there, they feel more connected to their maybe artistic ancestors and want to pursue careers that, people like Da Vinci and Michelangelo and Caravaggio did in the past.
There's one thing I've learned, Scott, it's that all artists are communists and we have to execute them.
Okay.
Thank you, America. Excise them from society with blacklists and so on.
But yeah, that was those were the high level points. I'm definitely going to sit down with John and we're going to have a podcast episode where we talk about like the whole experience start to finish. But if you have questions about it, let me know. Evan, bring back the Hollywood Blacklist. Oh, you know what? There's a little, oh man, I forgot about the little, oh wait, they don't have a little box?
What box?
Some of the arches got little things like this.
Oh, they're magic pouch.
Yes, pouches. The food, how was the food? It was pretty good. There was a restaurant we ate at called La Bindi, which was a 3.5 hour long, 14-course meal.
You mean just a regular Italian dinner?
Yeah, basically. And it was really good. There was so many interesting dishes in that meal that were really tasty. And also there was they always gave you the explanation as well, like where the food comes from, what it is. That was like a super fun experience, and it was mega cheap. It was for 14 courses, and we were eating with it was like 40 people there, and that's all that fit in the restaurant, just that group of 40. They also downed at least 10 bottles of wine and many other sparkling water and non-sparkling water, which come in glass bottles that do cost money. If you want free water in Europe, you have to ask for tap water. I didn't know this until later on.
Yeah.
So we crushed 10 bottles of wine. We crushed probably 10 bottles more of various types of water, and 40 of us had 14 courses of food, and it was 50 euros a person. What the fuck? That's crazy cheap. If you did that in America, it would cost $250, $300, something like that, because of the alcohol probably alone. So it was really good, and also it was really cheap. That was the thing that was amazing. How was the beer? I'm not a beer guy. But to me, it was nothing special. Again, Europeans really do like tradition, and so they don't like to experiment a ton with alcohol. That includes beer. There's a way to make beer. Whereas in America, you have all these fucking crazy ass beers that have fruit infusions, sugary infusions, cookie infusions for Christ's sake, all these weird things. And I get the sense that people in Europe that like beer kind of see that as a little bit as sacrilegious.
I mean, it's just gimmicks.
Yeah, gimmicky. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Again,
it's a way to hide the fact that you can't make a good beer.
Right. Not super into beer, so I don't really know if that is true or not, but I did drink lots of beer because people just kept fucking buying it for me. It was nuts, and it wasn't that amazing. I had a pizza, because you gotta have a pizza. And it had an insanely thin, crackery crust, and that really surprised me. It was like a New Jersey bar pizza. It was like eating a pizza on a saltine almost.
Yeah.
But thinner than that. It wasn't like what I remembered when I ate in in Naples. So it wasn't Neapolitan pizza at this little village of Monty San Savino, but it was interesting. Pretty low on marinara sauce as well, pretty thin application. Decent amount of cheese. It was all right. It didn't blow me away. There, I said it. Okay.
Flawsmith subscribing 16 months in a row. Yo, I hope your trip went well.
Thank you. It really did. It was the opportunity of a lifetime. And any issue that I had with the trip was self-inflicted. And what I mean by that...
Are you inflicting yourself?
Great question. I don't know. It's just hard, you know? Like, I have trouble sleeping at night. When I wake up, I think about things that I have to do, and then I can't fall back asleep. And so that makes it worse because then I can't sleep well. You know, Amber might text me and be like, hey, you have some emails you really got to respond to, which kind of sucks when you're paying 12 hours a day. And so I paint 12 hours. We get home at 10 p.m. and then I would do emails while I was there, you know, answering comments while I'm there and all this stuff, you know. I got a lot of shit floating around in my head, and it makes it challenging to really sit down and focus on a thing and really enjoy it. And I really struggle to go on vacation a lot. Like when I go on vacation with Amber, it's like hard for me to really like kind of be in that moment, especially the longer it gets. Like when we get to like the 6-7 day mark, I like really start to get like antsy, and I like need to like get back and start working on like YouTube and stuff like that. And so for those reasons, that always affects my experience and my enjoyment of it. But outside of that, which again, entirely self-inflicted, it was an amazing event. It's the opportunity of a lifetime, truly. It was like the both Monty San Savino and the coaching were just like were awesome. They were so cool. But yeah, I did record a lot of footage while I was there of both the event and the coaching. I don't know what the video is going to be about. It could be about like obviously just the experience, but like, you know, it's hard to have a video be about the experience and not also talk about like how I'm making the experience worse for myself. But I don't know how to say that without a bunch of people on the internet thinking that I'm a whiny baby, if that makes any sense.
Why don't you just not do that? I mean, this is
yeah, bro.
This is Scott in a nutshell.
Yeah, emails, Kickstarter comments, that one random fucking thing I forgot to do, and now I'm remembering when I woke up because of fucking jet lag. And I'm not trying to like, part of me feels like I'm bragging by like saying that this is what happens to me. I'm not. I fucking hate this. I hate this about myself. So I'm not trying to brag at all.
It's not bragging in the slightest. It's just the fact that you take. People talk about not bringing their work home with them. When you own your own business, you're your own boss and stuff. That becomes really hard. And then you try and turn that off when you are, you know, trying to take leisure time. It's insane. It's impossible.
Yeah. I really need to figure out a way to solve that problem for myself.
Oh, sweet. My sample goal is back.
What is a good American beer? I mean, again, I'm not like That's true Italian pizza. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. What is a good American beer? I mean, like, there's probably tons of them, honestly. I mean, again, I'm the wrong person to ask.
The best American beer is clearly the one that sells best.
It's okay.
Because beer is a meritocracy.
Right, yeah, that's actually...
So what is currently selling best?
Yeah. I can see the title now. I'm at Roman bitches. Do you have a strategy or a tool for taking good notes and tracking all the things? No, I have a journal and a pen, and I just write down my thoughts. Actually, I wrote down one in my phone because I didn't have my journal with me one day. Let's see what I said.
Mexico is technically America.
You can overeducate yourself, learn something, implement it. What does it mean to you? How do you use it? Interesting. Best-selling beer in the U.S. is Modelo. Keck.
A little of both, Mr. Funkadizzle.
Midtones should be saturated. You control the overall level of saturation by how much environmental color and highlight color you add. If you start saturated, mixing in those colors will give you gray. Okay, so like this is regarding environmental painting. If you want to paint environmentally, and you start with a midtone that's got white, gray, black in it, and then you mix in an environmental color, like say a dark purple or a dark blue, or a highlight color that's like a minty white or a yellowy white. Those highlight colors and shadow colors already have a great degree of white in them or a great degree of black in them. And so if you mix them together with a midtone that's already kind of swampy and kind of desaturated, got a little bit of gray in it, a little bit of black, a little bit of white, the colors you're gonna get are just gonna be like nasty. And so when painting environmentally, should start with a fairly saturated midtone because you're gonna kind of kill it a little bit when you mix in those environmental colors. Guys, you have to detach yourself from the things that people insult, right? You know, if someone's gonna shit on beer, they're not shitting on you, they're just shitting on the beer.
Yeah, but no, you don't understand, Scott. The things that I like and are made here are me.
I think in general,
they are me, Scott.
I want to make a video about this, but also that goes a little bit more into detail about just in general criticism in the hobby and like how that's perceived. Not for like painting. For some reason, we really understand how to take critique when it comes to our painting, but everything else.
I want to temper that. Many people understand how to take criticism with painting, and then there is some small subset that shows up in like every thread about it that is not able to understand what critique is.
What do you mean?
I mean, if you look at like feedback on like our miniature painting or whatever, it's like there's a bunch of good feedback, and then there's like one or two people that are like, these people are just shitting on you for no reason, man.
Oh, okay, yeah. Just unnecessarily being a white knight.
Yeah.
To be fair, some people are very bad at giving criticism. Sure, but at the end of the day, that's all it is. It's like personal, it's like anecdotal, it's like their opinion. And so it shouldn't be taken too seriously.
Unless it's my opinion.
Yeah.
Or Scott's opinion.
Yeah, obviously. This is coming off the back of like, someone on the podcast being like very like upset with me for being critical of the board games that I played and also of Age of Sigmar.
Someone on the podcast, John?
No, it was a commenter. They got upset with me. Because I talked about how I was struggling to resonate with my audience, and we were talking about the Star Wars video that I'd made.
Ah, yes.
And then someone was like, why are you confused that you're not resonating with your audience? Like you just shit on games. It's like I don't know how you could ever be that confident. And it's like, first of all, both those videos are performing swimmingly, and so it's like it's not even talking about like the thing that person is addressing, me not resonating with an audience and not getting a lot of views. That didn't even make sense. But secondly, it's just my experience, you know. That's the only thing I can be confident about is how I felt when I played the game. And I took notes. Like Evan was there, he saw me doing it. I didn't make the shit up. I took the notes in while I was playing the game to make sure that I captured like how I felt when I was playing. I didn't forget any of that stuff.
Yeah, I played several of the games with Scott, including Rising Sun, which Scott said he really liked. And that game was characterized by me and AJ just spending the whole time beating up on Scott. It was great.
I did mention that in the video. You saw that, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, fucking A.
It was fun. I liked that game.
Yeah, it was good. I definitely play it again.
I definitely want to play that with 5 people or whatever the max is.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's why I'm saying this stuff about criticism right now, because I've had some fresh thoughts about criticism in our hobby and how like people just really don't like you to critique things. Like it's a very small hobby. It feels very personal when you criticize like an indie game or honestly even a big game.
The best video on this is already made.
Oh, is that? Okay.
And it's ProZD's video.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about,
I
right?
don't, but I know ProZD.
It's I think it's literally like criticism. Let me just find it. Hang on. Criticism online, something like that.
Who bought Kemet? Kemet came from Dan. I didn't play.
Opinions on the internet.
I don't like
I'm gonna
this
put
thing.
this in chat. I won't play it on stream because then we don't get any monetization or whatever. But this video says it all, which is just like someone on camera says, "I don't really like this thing," and he goes off big time. I like that thing. There are people who like that thing.
I think the thing that frustrates me the most is when someone shares something on a group or Discord or Reddit, and then someone offers up criticism that wasn't asked for, unsolicited. If people don't ask for feedback, don't give feedback. I agree with that. The other thing that I think, there's a whole asterisk to this as well, that I think you have to be honest about your level of involvement with the thing that you're criticizing. So in the AOS video, I was like, I have played 15 games of AOS and I am a beginner. Here are my thoughts. At that point, as a viewer and a listener, you can tune out. You can be like, okay, I don't care about someone's opinion who's played this game a couple times. You know, that's not important to me. Or you can listen to the feedback with a grain of salt. If you act like a subject matter expert and you're giving like very detailed criticism, but you're not that, that's a problem.
There's a second piece to this that I want to mention though, that people will dismiss criticisms out of hand by saying, well, you're not a top level player of AOS, or you haven't played 100 games or whatever. But skilled designers, you know, people who have made games that you love, have played lots of different games and have probably only played those games a few times. Right?
Sure.
Like Vince. We love Vince, both of us. Vince has made a bunch of cool games and been involved in the creation of a bunch more cool games. Loves AOS, has played a million games of AOS, has played Song of Ice and Fire like twice. Right?
Sure.
But he has opinions on Song of Ice and Fire's design because he has the skill set and background in gaming to be able to have an informed opinion on those things, even though he's not a competitive Song of Ice and Fire player.
He isn't criticizing it though in a video or anything like that.
No, but he has talked about it.
Sure, he does say why he doesn't like the game.
Yeah.
From like a high level point of view. That's definitely true.
He's talked about aspects of the design that he enjoys too. I mean, as a avid Warhammer Weekly listener.
Okay.
But my point is like you're and I, for that matter, are amateurs to AOS, but we play enough miniature war games that our criticisms of that system aren't just from playing that system. It's from also playing other systems and having points of comparison.
Okay, that's fair.
And there are people who like the thing who have never played a different game.
Right, yeah.
They get mad about criticism of their thing because it is all they play.
Right.
I think that's more common with 40K, but I definitely see that attitude of what do you mean play other games?
Yeah.
Like, what?
I get that. I think a lot of people that play war games just play a lot of GW games in general, which is kind of interesting. We're somehow talking about gaming again. Can't get away from that subject.
It's because gaming is superior to painting.
Anyways, don't get too attached to the things you love. People will criticize them, and it will hurt. And it means it's a given. I'm not sure if I should be doing this level of washing and tinting. On some things it's okay, but this is gonna be a bitch to highlight some of these bigger cloth pieces, like back up to the color that I need. Ooh, am I making a mistake right now? I don't know.
He says need, as if it matters.
Yeah, maybe I don't need to, but I want to. AOS is awful IMO. I just play it to shoot the shit with friends. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a thing too, you know? You can still play a game and have fun with it, and it can like not be the best game in the world. Evan really enjoyed AOS and was looking forward to it. It's not like the most balanced and amazing game ever, but it's still fun to roll 40 dice and absolutely annihilate an entire unit of Blood Knights with fucking dragons. Oh!
AOS delivers on the feeling of special moments feeling special, is how I'd put it. I've thought about this a lot since our interview.
Okay.
Because, I was complaining about how Cyberpunk Combat Zone, because you're only rolling one dice, your dice size changes, depending on your skill level with the character or whatever. So you might be rolling a D12 instead of a D6 or whatever. And that doesn't feel that special, even when you roll a 11 plus 3 and the other person can't defend it and you're like, yeah, I did it. Whereas with, you have the 40 dice in AOS and then you roll above curve and you're like, hell yeah, it's happening. I just rolled a bunch of 6s with my auto wounds. Things are happening. It's fun. Doesn't mean it's necessarily good, but it is fun.
If anyone has any questions about Monty San Savino or about the private coaching with Roman, just let me know.
Did you play AOS with Roman?
I did not, but he was working on a giant 40K table with Hawkins miniature art, and it's like there is no modular terrain in it at all. It's all like really scenic and narrative, but baked in terrain elements with just dripping with detail and battle damage, and it looks so fucking sick. And there's whole ass rhinos and land crusaders that are destroyed and part of the terrain. That was super cool to see. The whole office was just dripping with amazing miniature stuff. I saw his giant community diorama where it's so many zombies, hundreds of zombies, a big Golden Gate Bridge thing that's broken, and a small group of survivors trying to not get overtaken by just hordes and hordes of zombies. That was so cool to see. He brought that to Monty San Savino in the just to exhibit it, not to compete with it. But it was cool. Was there a piece that blew your mind when you saw it? Blew my mind. Yeah, so there wasn't, okay, I saw for the first time ever Albert Moreto fonts pieces in real life, and they hold up. They look untouchable, and I don't just mean they're amazing. No, these are the best models that I've seen in the world on the internet, and when you see them in real life, they also hold up. This is the kind of guy who paints one model a year, 2 models a year, and they're incredible pieces. Incredible.
Oh yeah, I remember this from Golden Demon.
Yeah, Apocalypse Nurse, thank you for the sub. So that was crazy. I loved that. I also learned about a thing called Dogma 48, which was it's a Danish event that is a 48-hour event where you have to do some hobby thing over the 48 hours. And there's a place for you to sleep. You're supposed to experiment with something that you've never done before. And you just get a thing done. You get a thing done in a short amount of time. And there were a couple pieces there that had a little Dogma indicator on them. And one of them that I really loved was called, I think, Swamp Hag. Someone took a Nighthaunt model, put a witch face on it, put moss and lichen on its back, had a really long and slender swampy backdrop. It looked super fucking cool. And it was a Dogma thing, and it looked great. It didn't look like it was rushed or anything. I loved that piece. That was my favorite fantasy piece that I had kept seeing. But some other stuff that kind of just blew me away. There was a lot of pieces that were very emotionally sad. There was a piece about self-abuse. A character with a bunch of cuts on her arms. There was a piece about where we get the materials for our cell phones. There was a diorama where the platform of the diorama was a cell phone that had the screen taken off and you could see the components. And there was an African child, placed in the cell phone, reaching its hand out with like some raw materials in its hand. And it was like, fuck, you know, like you'd never see that shit at Golden Demon or Crystal Brush. Like this, it was brutal. It was brutal.
Political commentary,
yeah.
My miniatures show.
Yeah. So that was super sad. There was a piece about Palestinian refugees and being denied like access to various countries. It had there was like a chain link fence. The plinth had like newspaper articles on it. And there was like a mother holding her child behind a chain link fence. And so it was just like, fuck, man. I just paint fucking dumb wood elves. And then like there's this shit here too. And so it almost feels like not worthy to like have just fun fantasy pieces, because like these things are really saying something super important. So those were also like very new for me, and very my eye-opening. They were very, very memorable at the very least.
Scott, you have to keep painting.
Yeah, fuck.
Scott, do you ever think that miniature art will ever just be seen as art by the broader world?
What a fucking question. So when we ate at La Bindi, the 14-course meal thing, it was a bunch of strangers hanging out. And we were kind of talking about the food, but I was like, you know what? We're all miniature painters. Let's talk about miniature painting. And that was the question I asked. I was like, what's keeping the hobby from being considered an art form? Is there nothing keeping it? Like, and basically we had that question, like what does it take for miniature painting to be like artistic in the sense that like art in a museum is artistic? And we had like a 2.5 hour long conversation about that. So it was pretty deep, and I want it to be a podcast topic, because there's a lot of areas you can go. But there were some very insightful observations that came from that conversation that I would love to share with you guys right now. One was that when there is a miniature painting show, everyone that is going to that show to observe the models, and by everyone I mean most, like 99%, are miniature painters, you know? Like they're the ones looking, critiquing, enjoying, observing the art. Contrast that with a art museum. Most people that go to an art museum are not artists, or they're not like the people making the art. Maybe they're some form of an artist, but they're not like beautiful oil illustrators that like paint on canvases that are 4 feet wide and 6 feet tall. And that's a really interesting comparison. It's like the people that go to art museums to appreciate them are not the same people that are also making the art, like it is with miniature painting.
You talk.
Fuck. So that was a really cool observation that someone made in that conversation.
Gotta keep them on task, guys.
We have to film in 3 days.
There was another question that I wanted to ask, which is, you learned a lot from Roman, but what did Roman learn from you?
I don't know. You have to ask Roman. He had some moments where he was like, I was asking a lot of questions. I like to ask questions. I like people to legitimize the reasons why they tell me to do things. And so if Roman's like, do this thing, this is why I'm telling you to do it. And then I ask a question like, okay, can you like show me that thing? Can you, or whatever it may be. So some of those moments took a while for Roman to really kind of teach me, because he was really having to think about the stuff that he tells his students and whatnot. Whereas normally they would kind of just be like, okay, sure, I'm gonna do that thing. And so I think he had to pause and really think about the stuff that he was teaching at some moments to see if it was valid, if it was like if what he was saying was necessarily true and things like that. So I don't know if I taught him anything though explicitly, but there were a lot of moments like that though, where I was like, "How does that work? Why does it work that way?" And he was like, "Let's go through that." And so then we went through it, and it was really helpful for me because I love justification. It helps me a lot. Maybe he was pausing and translate. Maybe.
He doesn't need to translate. Scott speaks fluent German.
Yeah. Oh, hey, what up, Druck? It was lovely to meet you. There's a lot of people there that were fans of the YouTube channel, but also were fans of the podcast. I had a lot of conversations with people, and that was really cool to see. I'm just getting you. Oh, okay, I got you. I mean, I don't know, maybe you could be right. There probably was some of that, and I might have interpreted it as incorrectly. I had a similar-ish convoy with a friend who stated when meat painting is no longer paint by numbers, which I get, but also F you. I mean, you could also say, I don't know, when a miniature painting piece is worth like hundreds of thousands of dollars, you know? It's weird because when you think about the industry of art, like the people that are holding it up aren't necessarily the ones that are going to museums, right? Like, hell, the Minneapolis Institute of Art is a free museum to go to, you know? And of course, there are other ones that are not free. But I think the people that are really propping up that industry are the collectors that are spending just insane amounts of money on art pieces, which then gives the art piece their value, which then gives them a reason to be inside of a museum that has like all this infrastructure built in. Like if that piece sold for 10 grand, for 5 grand, like some miniature painting pieces do, like the most expensive ones sell for that much. If they sold for only that, I don't know if we would see the same kind of museums and have the same feelings about art that we have nowadays.
I do wonder if, well, there's a couple pieces to this. Firstly, a big part of the fine art world is tax evasion and money laundering by the ultra wealthy.
I don't know if a big part of the art world is that.
a big part of the art collection world is exactly that. Okay. But the value in fine art in general. I mean, let's get away from the $1 million plus paintings, because that's what that is dominated by. But there is a lot of art out there that falls into that fat upper section that's not commodity art, right? There's hit me with your best tax evasion strats. No, but like there's a lot of art that is what I would call factory art, right? Where it's seen as basically valueless beyond just the labor put into it, which I think is how a lot of miniature painting gets treated. It's the sort of stuff that you see on like hotel walls and so on. It is legitimately a painting, but it is not seen as being of any value at all because it's just cranked out by like a company that makes a bunch of inoffensive watercolors and, you know, pays their painters $15 an hour or whatever.
Okay.
And I think that the hobby suffers from the fact that that's what a lot of it is seen as. Right? Those of us that are in it, we look at the really fine pieces at places like Monty San Savino or Golden Demon or whatever. We appreciate the value of that, but the majority of the people interested in our hobby are just looking to paint gaming figures or get painted gaming figures. And they go, that's really nice, but for that same amount of labor, I could have like 4 fully painted armies.
Yeah.
They don't appreciate the actual artistic element.
And that was definitely a thing we discussed as well. A lot of people's entry related to gaming, a lot of people's entry in this hobby is through GW. I would say probably like 95% of them. And so because of that, GW sells the game along with the models.
Yeah.
And so they enter the game through a gaming point of view. And the attachment of the art to a game might make it less artistic. What if there were, okay, I'm gonna make this statement and then I'm going to think about my next move, because I'm done with my previous one. What if there were beginner courses on how to paint display models? Like we often see, like starting out with GW like stuff or board game stuff to be like ground zero. But why isn't there a ground zero for display painting? Like why can't you start on a bust and learn how to paint a bust? There's no reason why you can't do that. But that kind of stuff doesn't really exist, you know? We kind of see it as more advanced. So maybe it takes some change in the way we see and look at our hobby for that kind of change to happen. I think lots of thoughts.
There's a second piece to this, which is also kind of a controversial one in the competitive miniature painting community, I guess, which is when talking about the other fine arts. I'm going to lump miniature painting into it. But when talking about say oil on canvas or whatever, right? Everyone starts at basically the same point, which is a blank white canvas, right? You're using the same materials to get results based off of your individual skill and your creativity, right?
I'm not sure I'm following.
So
you start from this. So I heard you start from the same blank canvas. What do you mean by that?
You start from a true blank canvas. Whereas with miniature painting,
okay, I got you.
We have mass-produced pieces that it's like we can put hours and hours and hours and raise the piece up, but ultimately some element of the expression comes from the sculpt of the piece, right? And so I do think that there is some level of merit to saying that, like, someone who just paints figurines that other people designed is already standing on top of an artistic work before them. Whereas with someone who's just painting on canvas, they have to come up with the concept and execute it from beginning to end completely themselves. They don't have any, like details and lines to work off of. They don't have someone else doing the sketch for them.
Also, a totally valid thought as to why miniature painting isn't kind of like an art form like we see other things.
Well, and we're seeing more...
Jason's saying the same thing as well.
Yeah, we're seeing more people doing their own sculpts, though, right? Or collaborating with a sculptor to do a new and unique thing. But yeah, absolutely, that is very much the comic book art thing. Who is responsible for the art? Do we give props to the person that inked the comic, who actually is responsible for the final look, even though they're working on someone else's sketch, et cetera, et cetera.
Thank you, as a thought, for sharing that opinion as well. Sorry we missed it in the chat.
No, it's my completely original idea. No one else has ever had this thought before. Ban Azathoth.
Paint Spill Curse is also saying the same thing.
I think that's a good point, Captain McLean. If GW started actually crediting the people who worked on these miniatures as contributing artists, opposed to it just being a piece of the corporate entity,
that'd be good.
Of course, we've been moving in the opposite direction, but with all the GW videos now just being floating hands.
Thanks, Jason. Happy to be back. One thing that it's tough to be kind of turned on and like socially fun and bubbly 24/7. And that's kind of what it was. We were like out doing things until 11 p.m. I would come home, I'd do some email stuff and maybe fuck with the thumbnail or something like that. And it's tough. It's tough to do that 6 days in a row when, like, I find myself becoming more and more of a what's the word? What's the kind of people that get energy from being alone? Why do I forget this word?
Sorry, I was typing, so I didn't pays specific enough attention to be able to help.
Introvert. Thank you.
Yes.
Introvert.
Yes.
Thank you, chat. I don't know why I'm more like this now than I used to be, but yeah, so it's just tough to kind of show up and be everything to all people every single day. So that part was tiring, you know? I came home, I got back yesterday, and despite the fact that I have a disgusting deadline, I took the whole day, I did my emails, and then I took the whole day off. I just chilled the whole day. I just needed to recoup a little bit, just because there wasn't, I didn't have my typical process, you know? Get home, make dinner, walk the dogs, chill in the basement. Didn't have that process to kind of recuperate. Love being an introvert. Home is where all my stuff is. Why wouldn't I want to be there? I mean, yeah, I get you. Man, that's the week after every con for me. Brother, I fucking wish I could take a whole week off. I would love that. I would do that in a heartbeat. A little staycation. Not trying to imply that I am better for not having done that, by the way. It's so fucking neurotic about the things that I say. I don't want to try to imply anything. But yeah, I would. If I knew myself and I knew that I needed every single ounce of time to actually paint these models, I'd absolutely take a couple days off.
Ferial-san.
Ooh.
Subscribe with Prime.
That's a fun name. Wait, what is this socializing?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Monument hobbies. Yeah. Okay. Or maybe like the pin from the Ren Fair said, I used to be a people person, but people ruined that for me. I don't think people ruined it for me. I think I ruined it for myself, honestly. Yeah, definitely. What's up? Double stuffed Oreos. Yeah. Wait, what kind of answer are you looking for? Oh yeah, surprise me with the salty snack. Give me anything. Wait, snaps. Get snaps. Cheetah. What is that called?
I'm taking the van.
Okay. Dude, Amber is shipping a bunch of merch right now. Thank you guys for supporting the stream and the channel by buying merch. I appreciate that. You need help or something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you...
I always do, but both of you guys just sit.
Sad but true.
God bless a salty wife. Or not salty, sassy. I love that shit.
You know what we need, Scott?
What's that?
We need an auto opener on that door.
Is that
Make it handicap accessible.
those things exist?
Yeah, you know the buttons that you push that open doors?
Oh yeah. I know buttons. Like the Sources one.
Yeah. Or, you know, most businesses.
No, just the Source. They got that cutting edge tech.
The only handicap accessible store in the Twin Cities.
Is that Scott Walter, gold winner at Monte? You're fucking damn right it is, Big Dano. What up, Trent? Yeah, that's me.
Award-winning miniature painter Scott Walter. Oh, you've got to get your business cards redone now.
Oh yeah.
They have to say award-winning miniature painter on them.
Trent, are you still? I haven't been tapped in to your socials. At least, I mean, I have on Instagram. But have you been streaming still? You used to stream a lot, and I fucking love that fucking sub emoji. Don't be an automatic.
Skangaroo, yes, there are multiple levels.
Oh, nice. Okay, y'all, chat. You gotta check out this guy's stream, Big_Deno, on Saturdays. They're very educational. The VODs are super nice. I've watched them many times. If you wanna, like I said earlier, I didn't invest in my own miniature painting education for a long time, and it's great to see someone else's process because you can really like take bits and pieces from it and apply it to your thing. Do that with Big_Deno. Big, lots have to learn, honestly. Yo, Miniac, have you seen the documentary called World of Darkness? I just watched and figured y'all in chat would enjoy also. I have not. Is that about like the history of horror movies and stuff? And it's like kind of super long. And is that the same? We don't want the same thing? I haven't seen it either way. I'm just trying to remember if I have ever heard of it. I learned
World
so
of
much.
Darkness is an in-depth look into how the World of Darkness and Vampire the Masquerade created a phenomenon in the 1990s.
Oh, okay, never
A
mind.
zeitgeist that helped shape film, literature, fashion, club culture, and ultimately fans, whose life it forever altered.
Okay.
Lives plural, actually. OSWs and Kiki says, I got third place in one of those r/mini painting competitions.
Nice.
And now my wife adds award winning when she introduces me to people while feeling sassy.
Congratulations. That's a step, you know? That's like, I also competed in a couple of different r/mini painting competitions, and that's where I really cut my teeth on competitive painting, and also learned that when you emotionally invest in a piece and you lose, it fucking sucks. So yeah,
Yeah, the lesson that Scott learned was just not to care.
So exactly. Like I brought pieces to Monte that I did not paint for Monte. I just painted them for fun. And I did that for Golden Demon the prior 2 years, and I was super detached from the results of all three of those competitions. And it's really nice when you win something, but if you don't win something, when I didn't win, I was still able to, and I said this in a video before, emotionally show up for my friends who did win, and show up for friends who didn't win. You know, I could lament with them, and I could have fun with people who did win. And that's because I wasn't so concerned with my own results.
Chromonaut community says, hi Scott, good meeting you and Monty, and congrats on the gold.
Thank you, sir. I just followed you on Instagram, I think. I recognize that name at least. Did you had rhyme to visit a bit? Time to visit a bit? No, I did not. Roman took me out to have a traditional Bavarian dinner, and that was a lot of fun. One thing I learned about Germany was that a lot of Americans probably think of all Germans as like loving Oktoberfest and wearing the Lederhosen. That's
yeah.
That's exclusively a Southern German thing, a Bavarian thing.
Yeah.
Like if you're in Berlin, you don't give a shit about Oktoberfest. At least that's what I was told. I didn't know that. Yes, exactly as a thought. Yeah, not all. You're right, mycelium veins, but maybe most people who care about it are Bavarians.
It's kind of like how people in other cultures envision Americans as being like Texan.
Yeah.
Texan and Californian.
Yep.
And New York. And that's it. That's what America is.
Yeah. Just like the memeiest personalities of Americans.
They're just walking around with their 6-shooters on their hips, getting ready to go surfing and bitching about potholes in their city streets.
Yeah, dude. Everyone in America conceals and carries.
Here's a fun fact for you, Scott, on that topic.
Hit me with it.
Of eligible adults in Minnesota, I haven't checked for years since the pandemic. It may have gone down or up, but roughly 1 in 17 adults has a concealed carry permit.
That's definitely higher than I thought it would be.
I know, right? That was my exact reaction of, well, wow, that's way more than I thought. That doesn't mean, of course, that they actually use it.
Yeah.
So the people that I know that have conceal and carry permits are like, nah, I just got it, so it's a permit to purchase that lasts for 5 years.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. I definitely, we definitely had a couple chats about guns in America and stuff like that. I got to show my picture of me holding a 50 cal, and all the Europeans were shocked and awed.
You didn't tell them about our automated machine gun turrets that we have here in the building?
No, I didn't. I neglected that.
The UPS drivers have to dodge through the gauntlet.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Frenchie minis. Absolutely. People in other countries think all Texans ride horses and are ranchers. My guy, I'm from Houston, the fourth largest city in America. I don't see horses until I'm an hour from home. Yeah, for sure.
Paint for refurbishing old firearms. Now I'm very intrigued. Man, I was so disappointed.
About what?
One of my guns got ruined, but it's safe. Oh, hey, someone that I can't read their name because it's so small just picked up a pin and a shirt.
Burial Sand.
There you go.
Thank you. Hey, it worked. See?
Yeah, see, it does work.
It works like
put in your info.
every time, 1/3 of the time, you know? Thank you for the support by picking up a pin. Appreciate it, Burial Sand. If there was a message, we did not see it.
Good job, Ferial Sam. Yeah, my behind the scenes preview here of what I'm looking at is about 2/3 the size of a cell phone screen.
Yeah, it's a thumbnail image.
Yeah.
Okay, apparently this model I just totally neglected with the skeleton horde. Whoops. That's a me.
Man, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Rabliolot? Hang on. Raboliot? That's what I'm going with. Hey, meeting you and Monty was really nice.
Awesome.
Lots of people coming in from the Monty meetups.
Heck yeah, dude.
Also, Ferial Sun subscribed with Prime 11 minutes ago. I don't know if we shouted that out, but I'm going to do it again. So
Thank you, Burial Sand. Big Deno asking, Scott, did you get a chance to go to Il Verde? No. I didn't. I went to Monty San Savino and I went to Roman's studio and his house in Augsburg. That was pretty much it. We painted from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. Most days, and so there wasn't a lot of time for.
Il Verde is a restaurant at Monte.
Oh, my bad. I don't know. The only one I remember going to, the name of at least, was El Bindi.
El Bindi.
That's one I remember. I don't remember the other. I went to 2 other restaurants, but I can't remember their names. Good question. How much did it cost? Le Bindi. Thank you. Yes, you remember. Okay, nice. So about cost, it didn't cost me anything. Roman offered to not only house me, but also do the coaching for free. So it was an especially awesome
That's a good
time.
deal.
It's a very good deal. Yeah, I had to pay for the plane ticket, of course, but why wouldn't you? Who wouldn't take that opportunity, you know? So.
Yeah, I would go to Germany if I just had to pay for a plane ticket.
Yeah.
And then you add on the fact that you're getting coached by one of the best miniature painters living today. Cool. Yeah, I'm in.
Very cool. Quick question regarding, Scott, you found something that's not a Raphael A404? Yeah, Da Vinci Series 35. I actually really enjoyed using the brushes from, what's it called? Mindwork Games. Those are pretty good, but they're not very easy for Americans to get.
Monuments brushes are quite good as well.
Evan likes Monument brushes.
Yeah, I will put my stamp of endorsement on that.
I also enjoyed, or am enjoying, the new Chimera brushes. I use those the week leading up to the private coaching. I use them during the private coaching, and they were great. I liked the Broken Toad brushes up until they evaporated. I don't know what happened to that company exactly. But yeah, if you're looking for from another art supplier like Raphael, Da Vinci Series 33 is pretty good. And they also have a lot of other brushes that are pretty damn close to the Series 35. If you go to my gear page, I think I have links to all of those brushes, not the hobby ones. I came from the school of Vinci V. That's funny. That's a funny way to think about that, yeah. Have I seen? Yeah, I saw the new Flash Eater Records fucking model. Yeah, with the intestines on his head. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, it's like a judge's wig, but it's intestines.
Yeah, it's good. It's good that GW can still have fun with Warhammer. That's what I gotta say about that. I like that.
I also saw that the Cities of Sigmar lady riding the Manticore is at the store now. Finally.
I don't know who the Stormcast? Wait, which one?
The Cities of Sigmar lady, the big one.
The big one.
The Manticore is the creature that's the lion with wings and a scorpion stinger.
The only one I know that's like a big centerpiece model is the person being carried on like a palanquin.
Yes.
Wait,
no, hang on.
Yeah, there's no Manticore in that.
You definitely have seen this before, but I'll show you again. Hang on.
Okay.
What the hell is her name? Just type in Manticore. Yeah, that worked.
Funny thing is, Da Vinci wanted to make brushes for us, but their quality didn't match our controls. What does that mean? What is the quality didn't match our controls? Does that mean like they weren't up to your standards?
This lady.
Okay. Oh yeah. She's got that fucking sick head. Yeah.
Yeah, she's very cool. Also, $170 for just that.
God damn. That's a lot. Big Dano, since I'm off to work. All right, see ya, Trent. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate the congratulations. Maybe next stop, Crimson Brush in Australia. It depends. Are you going to offer me a free coaching? No, just kidding. Yeah, maybe. I'm never going to say never. Honestly, everyone there was kind of convincing me that I should be going to Nova Open and not Crystal Brush, or not Adepticon. So.
I mean, you should be going to both.
I can't go to both.
Yeah, you can. John's doing it.
I'm
you
too
can
mentally
do it too.
weak.
I believe in you.
And that Manticore isn't as big as you'd expect for $170. What up, Dan?
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. I'll make a video about Rolls Royce. For sure, bud.
We're gonna go to Nova Open next year, and we're gonna go to Adepticon.
Everyone should be judged by Big Deno once in a while. What up, Vince Venturella? He's saying that being judged by Big Deno is a revelatory experience. I heard similar things about going to Nova Open and being judged harshly by Eric Swinston and Krzysztof Kabalczyk. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. But yeah, I heard so many positive things about Nova Open, like as far as the painting competition goes. And it really kind of made me think about like, if I could go to one of these, I might just pick Nova Open. But I say that as someone who's never gone, so what do I know?
Both. Also, we got to go to
Both.
MMSI. You got to come with to that too.
Oh yeah, fucking Don Haney got some awards there, and he wants to come onto the podcast to talk about that and MSSI or MMSI.
Yeah.
Nova this year was fantastic. Amazing to hear. I'm glad to hear that, honestly.
So that means we've got 3 cons to go to in 2024, Scott. Can you do it? Can you handle it?
What about PAX Unplugged, Evan?
We've got 4 cons to go to in 2024. It's basically a con a quarter. We can do it. I believe in you.
I want to be the person that can show up and do that, you know? But I'm not that person right now.
Here's what we do, Scott.
I want to become that person, though.
You don't have to go as you.
Okay.
We can invest in a disguise.
Okay.
So that way you don't have to be Mr. Miniac all the time.
That's honestly not why. I don't mind like chatting with people. The thing is I just like, whenever I go to a show, the time around the show and after the show are just so stressful. I'm like trying to like finish a project, and like while I'm at the thing, I'm like working and I'm like trying to like make my most of the time, and like I just have a very bad mental about like going and traveling and stuff. It's not at all to do with talking to people and the socializing aspect. It's just because it feels like I'm like falling behind when I'm not at the office. Truly, that's the main reason. What cons are there in the UK? There is, it's not Scale Model Challenge, but it also starts with an S. It's Salute. That's one. I don't know if it's much of a show compared to Adepticon, Monty San Savino, Nova Open, but that is one. UK Games Expo, that's another one, and also Warhammer Day. Thank you, Jason. Do either of you have opinions about Malifaux? No, but we were given like painted war bands, and we have not played it yet, sadly. Fen model show. Someone talked about that actually. I forgot to mention that.
Tell me about that Fen model show.
There was a large contingent of British people there, and I had nice chats with them. And they mentioned that one. I forgot about that. Jay from Eons of Battle says that malifauxbomb.com. Don't forget to attend Protospiel up north there. Yeah, also Protospiel, yeah. Protospiel for demoing games, trying out some new stuff, getting feedback on my stuff. I worked more on the the volleyball fantasy game that I'm working on the airplane. Fucking can't get enough of that. It's so much fun.
Oh, we got to go to Vault Wars next year too, Scott.
What's Vault Wars? And also, what about Renegade Open?
We got to go to, well, Renegade's this weekend.
Oh, shit.
I know you shouted out that the Forge.
Oh, yeah.
Is putting on that Dwarven Hammer.
Dwarven Axe.
Dwarven Axe.
Come on, as a fellow dwarf, you got to get that right.
You know what?
It
should be called Dwarven Hammer.
Speaking of dwarves, I just watched The Hobbit, Battle of the Five Armies again on the airplane. That movie's a little rough. It's third in the Hobbit trilogy, but we don't need to talk about that right now. I watched a lot of movies though. I watched Horrible Bosses for the first time. That movie was great. I always watch a lot of like superhero movies that I don't necessarily care about. Watched Volume 3 of what's that one called? Guardians of the Galaxy. I watched Wonder Woman 84. I watched The Flash. I hadn't seen any of these, but I like to watch them on airplanes.
Horrible Bosses was pretty dang good. I don't know if I saw Horrible Bosses 2.
We actually started to watch it last night, but I fell asleep at like 8 because of like jet lag. But I wanted to watch it because the first one was pretty fucking good. It's my kind of self-deprecating humor. I like that shit. The entire trilogy is rough. Yeah. It's weird that the movie called The Desolation of Smaug doesn't end in his desolation, but it's rather the first thing that happens in the third movie. It feels so bizarre.
It's weird that those movies aren't good.
I love how candid that was.
Well, it is when you look at how great of an adaptation the Lord of the Rings trilogy is, and then just what an overall big miss the Hobbit trilogy is. It's like, we had the recipe.
You figured it out.
Yeah.
You didn't follow the recipe.
He is doing the desolation. Sure.
Yes, he is doing. Yes, okay.
It's definitely, that's a big part of it, Gartz, but not the only part of it. The stupid escape sequence in the first Hobbit movie. The first Hobbit movie was the only one I watched in theaters. The second two, I just was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'll watch this when it comes out on VHS. Yeah. The barrels it's just a piece of it. It's this big like.
Why is everyone shit on the barrel scene?
Because
it's fun.
It's a cartoon. So
because it's a lot of VFX?
It's not that it's VFX, it's that it's a cartoon. It abandons serious fantasy and just becomes Saturday morning, doesn't care about anything about like making sense or anything.
Okay, that's fair.
I have said on stream many times that I enjoy movies like The Fast and the Furious, right? I am fine with movies that don't obey normal laws of physics.
Okay.
but they have to not obey normal laws of physics throughout and be consistent.
Okay.
And the Hobbit movies are like, yeah, it's serious dark fantasy, and then all of a sudden for like 20 minutes it's a fucking animated feature for no reason.
Okay. I can appreciate that opinion. I love when the barrel sequence randomly switches to shitty GoPro footage.
Yeah, exactly. There's it's just so weird. It's so out of place.
Someone else said that. Azathoth also said that it's clearly shot on a GoPro.
Yeah.
B-movie. Fuck yeah, dude.
There's also the other piece of it, which is Legolas in The Hobbit is 100 times more effective than he is in The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, he's such an elf in The Hobbit.
He's like level 20 superhero in The Hobbit. He's like, these dwarves don't need to do anything. I'll just carry my whole fucking team.
Yeah, dude.
And then it's been like 15, 20 years or whatever between that movie and Lord of the Rings, or 30 or 50. Who knows, right? Lord of the Ring nerds knows.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Legolas is basically just a really good archer. His most daring feat is like jumping up on the giant elephant thing, or maybe sliding down the stairs on a shield. You know, like he does flips. Whereas within The Hobbit, he's like literally like flying all over the place and shooting constantly. It's nuts. Yeah, sure, he's an old man. All of a sudden. He's not like an elf or anything with a lifespan, you know, measured in hundreds, if not thousands of years. Hang on, I have to look this up. How old is Legolas in The Hobbit?
Someone asked if I had $200 spent on GW products, what would I buy? I would buy fucking House Cawdor shit. Because me and the boys are priming to do a escalation narrative campaign for Necromunda. So yeah, a lot of that shit.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Yeah, so at the time of The Lord of the Rings, do you know how old Legolas was, Scott?
Let me guess, 567 years old.
Way more.
3,840 years old.
A little less, but you're close enough. Okay. Almost 3,000.
Okay.
So 2,931 years old. And the gap between the movies is like 60 years. So...
Should be pretty similar.
Yeah, exactly. That would be like the equivalent of, what, aging like a year?
He had a bad breakup and it hit him really hard. Says Rufus Kid.
Sure. Shit was dumb. Rufus Kid, I know that it's infinite. I'm just saying, like, it depends on when he was born and when they die. Because, yes, they don't die of natural causes, but they certainly get killed a lot.
Going from 39 to 40 fucked me up, though.
Yeah, but, like, he's not progressing. That's how immortality works, apparently.
Oh, dude.
You just hit, like, that magic, like, 29, and then you're 29 forever. Aging, like, 2 months. Yeah, I think that's probably more accurate. Yeah, what we don't know is that Legolas suffered a repetitive stress injury shortly before the War for the Ring, Third War for the Ring. Was diagnosed with, like, carpal tunnel, which affected his archery.
Frontier says, I felt dirty playing Van Sar. The gun choices available to them are stupid.
No one is playing Van Sar.
Okay, yeah. I'm playing Cawdor. Evan, what are you playing?
Dwarves.
What's everyone else playing?
I think Curtis is playing the cool punk chicks. Dan is playing Enforcers. Alex is playing Nomads. And then John is acting as, like, the game master, so he's going to play a variety of stuff. He's on light duty. I like that. Yeah. So we have Nomads, Enforcers, Dwarves, Mad Scientists, and Punk Chicks, right?
That sounds right, yeah. Oh, yeah, I can't remember all their names, though. There are so many cool Cawdor models, though.
Yeah, there are.
I freaking love them. John gonna be involved? He's gotta play some shit as Daryl. John lives kind of far away, so it makes it challenging to be involved in a thing that requires him to be down here often, because he already has to be down here for the podcast. I didn't think to invite him, but I'm gonna guess his answer would probably be no. Very reasonably as well.
You should just make a gang and play with us occasionally.
As a side character?
Yeah.
A side gang? All right.
Ringer.
Black is, so I'm trying to figure out a way to wash these clothes. They're supposed to be cold black. And Nuln Oil is too weak, and Contrast Black Templar is too strong. So we're gonna do a half and half mix. If anyone's curious what we're doing right now. Also, I want to film this with top-down camera, because I am filming a video right now as well.
Whoa.
Oh, hey, look at that.
People will be talking about Basilicanum Gray as an option for a cold black.
All right.
Van Sar because I liked the aesthetic and then was expecting my Triad friends to do broken stuff, so I did too. And then I didn't realize I broke the game and we never played again. Yeah.
That's such a fucking vibe, dude.
So
that's something that our friend group would totally do.
So
and by our friend group, I mean Evan.
Yeah, maybe a little. I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what.
I didn't break the game on purpose, but so the game that Alex most recently worked on, or the game that is out that he most recently worked on, I should say, D&D Onslaught. Good game. I enjoy it. The demo kit for that game, we discovered a problem with it. Me and Store Scott. We played the demo game, and then Store Scott was not interested in playing that game ever again.
What, a D&D Onslaught?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, so the demo kit comes with less characters per side. Like, I think by standard, you take 5 into a match. Something like that. And then for the demo, it's like you only get 3 per side. And the Harpers have, like, someone that's like, if you roll a crit, it does double damage or something like that. And so I happened to roll a 20 and then I just like annihilated him because that guy's dead. And now I get to shoot again because it's my turn again. Oh, that guy's dead. And yeah, sometimes you just crush your opponent so hard that they just quit the game forever. They're like, yeah, I'm no longer excited for this. Pretty much bringing back dragons back to life. That's what happened to Rufus Kit. When I played him last year at Adepticon, not only was I running over him with my dragons in my 2K list, and he was playing his 2K list, but then when he finally killed a dragon, I was like, oh, I'm out of combat. I might as well rally. Oh, there's a 6. Cool, dragon's back. What a great rule. Everybody loves rally.
Everyone loves rally. Because it affects everyone the same way.
Yeah.
D&D Onslaught is definitely a game of all time.
I think that Onslaught is actually a pretty sweet game, but I think that when you lessen the character count, it starts to fall apart because losing a character when you have more characters matters less.
Basilicanum Gray is pretty good, guys. Thanks for the suggestion. I'm going to try out the black just because I have it here. But honestly, I probably could have skipped the original desaturated Space Wolf's Gray wash altogether and just done this, and this would have been fine, I think. Thank you for the suggestion. I appreciate it. So I have like the North Star version of this model that I want to paint. And if you've watched my most recent speed painting video that came out probably several months ago, you'll know that this is the first step in my speed painting. And right now I'm skipping steps where I try to make this process faster. I'm just guessing right now. There's no test models that I'm working on, so it's a little bit hard. I'm kind of doing it on the fly, but Basilicanum Gray may be the answer to some of our problems here. Eon's Battle says, I love my Escher Gals free las guns on everyone. Do you also like KOTOR? And if so, can you tell me how to write an OP list, please? Also, anyone in chat, I want to just absolutely destroy Dan Molson. So tell me what the most broken KOTOR list is I can do for 1,000 credits.
So I'm torn because I'm whipping up my starting gang, and it's like on the one hand I can have more dwarfs, but on the other hand I can take the dwarf mech right off the bat, but then I only have like 5 guys, which is not great because that basically means I'm making bottle checks like right away. But I would have.
Oh man, there's routing checks if you are at like half or lower.
Something like
for your whole warband.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're living on the edge there.
But also
put the dwarf mech in the front.
No, it's like the backup. I've got my guys around the edge with their guns, and if you come into melee, the mech just comes over and absolutely annihilates you.
Dan says rude. Right now, I am using a mixture of GW and Vallejo contrast paints. The
Vallejo paints, for legal purposes, are not called contrast paints.
Right, yes.
Our apologies. Express colors.
Yes. They have a wonderful turquoise color that GW is lacking. I know Dan likes the Aethermatic blue, but there's nothing in between Aethermatic blue and Arcalian green. I needed an in-between color.
There might be something.
Maybe there is in the new stuff. I don't have the new stuff, but this color, Caribbean turquoise, was perfect for the kind of teal that I got on my original model. So this was great to find. Okay. Let's do a little comparison here. Basilicanum Gray v my mix. I'm gonna hit this with a hair dryer. If you wanna mute me, Evan.
I got it. Universal terms for contrast paint. You are muted. High pigmentation, low opacity paints. Or high pigmentation washes. Yeah, I do think that speed paints is probably the more universal term. But then people get confused and they want to know if you mean army paint or speed paint, which is plausible. So, yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I just learned something.
Don Haney in the chat says, or at least his goals are clearly stated now. Yes. Cujo, what up, Cujo? I answered your question on Facebook. Although I can go get the models. I mean, people don't know what they look like, but it's still cool to see them. Oh man, this is gonna be like super annoying to get out of this box, probably.
Oh, the TSA didn't destroy your boxes.
Oh no, I was very clear with them about how it needed to be oriented and that there was stuff inside that was valuable, and they took that feedback well.
So what you're saying is they didn't just shove it in there and destroy it and then afterwards say our machine can't do that.
Correct. It's okay, Cujo. I'm just fucking with you. I brought these 2 pieces. Let me zoom out a little bit. Let me also focus.
Focus.
This is Pizza Boy, painted a comic book style. I did a video about this. Custom plinth, custom backdrop, comic book frame with a floating chat bubble. See, I feel like I was like, when I did this, I was like, man, I'm so clever. I'm so creative.
Computer,
I'm changing the way that miniature painting
set
is. And then I went to Monty and like, it was like this on crack. There were so many creative things like this. It was awesome. So that was the first piece. And then I brought my Ranger piece. I attached it to a plinth at Roman's because I didn't have it on a plinth originally. And he was like, they're gonna hate that. So we super glued it down to a plinth that he had. But yeah, these are my 2 pieces, both entered into standard fantasy painting. That was the category. Thank you, Cujo, appreciate it. Scott, our machine can't do that. Our machine is not capable of that kind of destruction. Well, I don't know what to say. Yeah. Happy with both these pieces. Now that I have a better idea about the categories at Monty, though, I think I could have brought something else for like the storytelling category as well.
We need to get Scott into historicals.
I have one. I have a Admiral. Which piece won? Because they're both in the same category, they both won. The judges did not distinguish between them. They didn't say that one piece won and one did not win. Okay. Let's take a look at Basilicanum Gray versus my little mix here of Contrast Black and Nuln Oil.
First, focus.
All right. As you guys can clearly see. Okay, this one on the left here. Don't look at his knee. His knee is pure contrast. Everywhere else is Basilicanum Gray, though. Looks, I mean, there's not a lot of contrast. It's okay. It looks a little cold. That's fine. I'm gonna do some very slight highlights on this part. Probably on like the thing in the middle of his legs, not his pantaloons too much. And then this is the mixture. Pretty similar, although I think we're getting a little bit more settling in the recesses, which is a little bit better, I think. Although it's very close, you know. We're really splitting hairs here. I do want it to be a little bit more black because I will highlight it up a little bit to be a little colder afterwards. So I think because of that, I'll go with my mix. But Basilicanum Gray is very solid, a very solid suggestion. How much pizza did you eat in Italy? I ate one pizza in Italy. It's pretty good. You enter a so-called display for a category and your display gets judged. Is that how it works? Okay. Appreciate the explanation. Was it a pineapple pizza? No, but that was on the menu. There was a Hawaiian pizza on the menu in Italy.
Chivenger.
I don't know what that fucking means, but I guess that means that Hawaiian pizza is legit.
Chivenger resubscribed.
Oh, thank you, Chivenger.
2 months.
Fantasy Painters category at MMSI this year has some great entries, but the show is still primarily historicals.
Indeed.
Indeed. Necessarily want to actually, oh yeah, this is the one that I did with just Nuln Oil, and I don't necessarily want to wash this whole thing in my black mix again because then it'll be really dark. So I'm going to just see if I can darken down some of these recesses, especially on the upper facing parts. Actually, it's so bright that I probably can't just take a whole wash. It'll be fine. Also, these legs don't fucking matter down here under the tabard thing. How do you report on pineapple pizza? I would like to make a report. It's probably a trap. You order that, and the trap door opens up beneath your feet. That's hilarious. All right, now that we got our thing, let's continue progressing. I like to use Basilicanum Gray on guns over lead belcher. It's dark enough for a normal gun color while still reading as metal. Cool, okay.
Ooh, you're gonna do fantasy and historicals next year, huh, Don? What are you gonna paint for fantasy? Something fun? I hope.
No, he's gonna paint something very not fun.
I don't know. There are a lot of really great pieces that I wouldn't necessarily call fun. Dan says that Basilicanum Gray thins down over Monument Hobby Silver is New York's go-to metallic mix now.
Nice. I also want to get this belt to be black.
Also, he wants to know, Scott, are you going to play some bomb rats with your Crador? Cawdor.
Dude, I'm down. I'm kind of down for trying out like everything in the army. Get a little bit of everything. Because there isn't that much stuff, right?
Yeah, but the budget's pretty limited, at least off the rip. But hopefully we'll be making some good money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Toward the end. When I got my warband built up. Definitely down with some bomb rats. Am I missing anything else that's black here? Let's see here. I painted the dagger, this stuff black. I did the belt brown apparently. Oh, well.
So, Double D's minis.
Okay.
Here's the thing. He hates them and says it's not real Italian. But who cares?
Who says this?
He's talking about Hawaiian pizza.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's not real Italian. Yeah, but is it good? Like, who cares if the food is authentic? There's lots of authentic traditional food that isn't good. We don't eat anymore because we eat better stuff now.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't ever choose to get a Hawaiian pizza, but like I don't mind that it exists.
I like pineapple on pizza, but I don't really like just regular ham. That's the Canadian bacon, which is just slices of like sandwich ham, it feels like.
What would you rather have for protein?
Pineapple and pepperoni is actually a really nice combo.
Oh, that was another thing. We got pizza while in Germany, and Roman asked me what I like, and I was like, I'll take a cheese, or I'll take a cheese and pepperoni. And he was like, the pepperoni's gonna be a little bit spicy, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of normal, a little bit spicy, not nothing like to write home about. And then we ordered the pizza, and then it came, and he got me pizza with peppers on it, like jalapenos. And I was like, oh, that's why you said they'd be spicy. They call it salami in Germany, apparently, or at least if they were speaking English. When fantasy comes back, I was thinking of starting a Tomb King army because I like skeletons, but the old knights look fun, so I'm leaning. Oh, you mean the dudes?
Bretonians.
The Bretonians.
Yeah, but if you play the Tomb Kings, you can play the theme song to the what was the TV show? The Mummies.
The Mummies. I know salami is different than pepperoni, but I'm just saying, like, a German person. I mean, I asked him what he would call it, and he said salami. But yeah, you are right. It is different than pepperoni.
Is Mummies Alive? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
I have no idea.
The show was a part of the trend called Mummy Mania in the 1990s pop culture. Hell yeah!
Shouldn't a true Hawaiian pizza be pineapple and Spam with a poi-based sauce?
Yes.
Probably hold the poi, just because, I don't know. Though, I wouldn't want that.
I think I would hold the Spam too, but...
I'd take the Spam. When you crisp up Spam, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But
it's more about the, well...
Poi's more of an acquired flavor to me, at least.
I agree. The Spam is a textural thing that I don't think works on pizza, even fried up. But, you know,
Okay,
whatever.
Fair enough. HUD says Spam's goated.
Just feels more like a Minnesota pizza at that point. Yeah, Hawaiians are known for consuming Spam, but it's a Minnesota product.
Rufus said I should have said that I wanted red cured meat discs. Yes.
Indeed.
Spam musubi. Yeah, that's all over Hawaii. Get that in gas stations and shit.
Good old Hormel creating traditional Hawaiian culture foods, I guess. Indeed. One in Europe is
soprasada.
Sure. Pepperoni just means peppers. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm having a focus here. I'm losing track of what I'm painting. I bought some capricola to bring home to my wife. And the TSA considers cured meat to be raw meat. And so they took my whole chunk of capricola and they didn't let me have it. I should have just lied about if I brought food. No one would have ever fucking known that I brought food back. I brought back...
Scott, that would be a crime.
I know.
That would be smuggling, sir.
The TSA owes me one, though, so I think it's okay.
Yeah, but no. That's not the TSA.
It's not?
That's customs.
Oh, customs, yeah.
That's Customs and Border Patrol, baby.
Okay,
They're
customs.
real law enforcement, unlike the TSA. TSA are not cops.
Damn it. Not the gabagool. Technically, yes, cured meat isn't cooked. So yeah, I was like, does it matter if it's like chemically cooked through a curing process? Does that mean anything to you guys? And they're like, the rules are set by so-and-so agency and we just follow them, we just enforce them. And I was like, okay, thanks for being mindless. And then I lost my capricola.
I mean, those rules are really more set by Congress and then interpreted, but they're set by statute. Yeah, exactly.
Actually.
Hey, listen.
Hey.
We need to open borders.
Whoa!
The best, open your borders to cured meats, Scott.
Okay. They're open.
How's that for a nice limited statement?
They're open, okay?
Right? You're congressperson.
We need to bring meats from other countries.
I live in the Minnesota 5th. I will write a sternly worded letter to Ilhan Omar, Representative Omar, about how we need to let these cured meats and uncured meats in. That this is an important issue.
It is very important. Oh, well.
Tina Smith's office will be hearing from me about this. The cured meat lobby in the U.S. will outspend you on the issue. Yeah, but they can't stop my voice. I will be heard by my
I will be heard. I'll remember that for the next trip to Scotland. Yeah, you can bring meat. It just needs to be cooked, and curing is not cooking according to customs. Or just lie. And if they ask you if you brought food in, just say no. I don't know.
Not legal advice.
Not legal advice, but it is an option. I did bring cheese. That got through fine, and so did some candied almonds. Do not lie to customs agents. No bueno. But they wouldn't have known.
So here's my recommendation. Forget. That is the real answer. It's not lying if you forgot.
Yep.
You need to legitimately forget what you packed. And maybe that means getting like incredibly blackout drunk when you pack your bags so you can't actually attest to what's in them.
Or
big brain mode.
Or the Men in Black thing. Where you get like the flashed and then you forget that.
Yeah, that is also an option.
However, that's an option.
The key is that ITAR regulations mean that you can't bring a neuralizer outside of the United States.
Okay, so the neuralizer needs to be wherever you're traveling to.
Already.
Travel to a neuralizer.
Yeah.
It's only illegal.
Only illegal if you get caught. No, that is not how the law works. Murder remains illegal even if you don't get caught. That is, in fact, legal advice right there. Things that are illegal remain illegal if you don't get caught.
Shame. I don't know
That is exactly what I'm going to write, Coronary Jump. It's gonna have a nice like intro blurb, you know, like a hello, thank you for reading my letter, and then, hey Ilhan, you let me have my gabagool, capiche? And then respectfully, your constituent.
Where does this gabagool come from? I said capricola. It's a cured Italian meat.
It's all the same thing.
Gabagool
right,
is like a Eastern European stew, isn't it? Unpunished if you didn't get caught is what I think.
Pretty sure Gabagool is a musical artist.
Okay, maybe it is.
Oh no, capicola, also called kappa, kato, or gabagool, is made from the prized cut of the neck and shoulder.
Oh my god.
It is cured for 10 days, no more, no less.
I have never...
After which it is then coated in black pepper, fennel seed, coriander, and slow roasted to produce a tender shoulder ham.
Wow.
Coronary Jump says, I'm European. I know what I'm talking about.
I stand corrected. Thank you. Gabagool is cured meats. Goulash, thank you, yes. What they call prosciutto in NYC slang, or in NY slang. Oh, okay. I watched The Sopranos. I know what I'm talking about. Spilbo Baggins. Evan, how many different kinds of cured meats can you list? This is very important.
Define kind.
Define kind.
You know, like, so, because like I could name like a whole bunch of varieties of like jerky, but fundamentally it's all like either beef jerky or turkey jerky or whatever, right? But there's like a bazillion different ways of doing it. Same thing with like meat sticks, where it's like cured beef and cheese.
Okay. Italian pork-based, cylindrically shaped, cured meat products.
We have narrowed the pool very significantly.
Yes.
Does it have to be legitimately Italian or just Italian?
I'm no longer interested. I don't care anymore.
I did it, chat. I dodged the question successfully.
Truly.
The answer would legitimately to that kind of question, more open-ended, would probably be like 3 or 4. I don't know. I'm not really a smorgasbord kind of guy.
Gotcha. Much of Italian American culture and language is defined by immigrants who came from a specific region of Italy with a certain dialect. Pre-language unification. So all these interesting pronunciations involve dropping the last vowels of the Italian words, like saying mozzarella instead of mozzarella. Gabagool is one of those. What's the full? Is it gabagula? What's the full word that we're missing out on here?
It's like pasta naming conventions as well, hyper-regional. You know, actually, that's a really good point. Where some things are literally just called different things.
Man, I'm losing my focus here. Oh, did I not never turn that camera off?
Yeah, it's been recording probably this whole time.
Okay, I seemingly, or either it ran out of space or I turned it off. Okay, I turned it off.
Smoke came out.
Lawyer just buried him in minutia until he got bored.
Got to define our terms. Make sure we're talking the same language here.
I've definitely heard someone like call mortadella mortadelle on more than one occasion. I thought that was just like a New York slang thing.
I mean, effectively, that's kind of what they're saying.
Yeah.
That,
I didn't think it was like historical canon, though. You know what I'm saying?
well, it's historical Italian American canon, which is, you know, Italian American in the upper Northeast, etc.
Right.
Southern Italy, yeah, Sicilian or whatever, right?
Yes. Sicily is southern Italy.
The drop of the A. Like pepperoni is an Italian sausage, but it started by immigrants in the U.S. remaking / adapting the recipes. It's how sweet sour chicken got associated with Chinese food. Yeah. Yeah, Americanized Chinese food is Chinese American food, but it is not Chinese food. But it is Chinese food. It's very complicated.
Yeah, like chicken parmesan is Italian American cuisine.
Yeah.
Because of the cheap and widely available protein in the American world when the Italians emigrated? I don't know the term. Immigrated. Emigrated is leaving, immigrated is entering, right? Is that true?
Migration also generally means like not necessarily related to weather or seasons, but kind of along those lines. If you're migratory, it means that you move around. You're like nomadic.
Okay.
Immigrating is like I go from one home to another home and then I live there.
Got
That
it.
is my understanding, but I'm not a dictionary. I'm gonna look it up right now.
You might as
so
well
I
be a
know.
dictionary, honestly. I think if you like one,
Thanks.
if that's worth anything.
Immigration versus immigration versus migration. Immigrate means to leave one country is to live in another. Yep. Immigrate is to come into another country to live permanently. Yep. Migrate is to move like birds in the winter. Nailed it! I am a dictionary!
Turns
Oh
out.
my god! 100%. 10 out of 10.
For an almost cartoonish take on Italian American language and slang, check out GNR Deli on Instagram. Okay.
How you doing? Is that why I migrate? Yeah, pretty much.
Wait. Oh, fucking Dan. Okay.
Yeah, that's Dan. Dan
That's-
is, in fact, like a bird person, so.
That's Dan.
Dan, is that your strategy? Is that you're going to be a snowbird? You're going to spend half the year up here and then half the year down in Arizona or something?
That'd be very fitting.
I mean, the real way to be a bird person in that regard would be for him to get a private pilot license and like buy a Cessna and fly himself with the seasons.
Wow. And you better commit, or else I don't know if I think of you as a bird person anymore.
Dan, eventually you'll have to stop buying so many miniatures, and then you'll be able to start saving for your Cessna. I can't afford to fly a plane full of rocks. That's true. Weight limits do be a bitch.
Okay, I got the belt. I did all the pantaloons. I did the belt on the quiver. There's, without a doubt, I've definitely missed little small details in some of these guys.
Just remember the lesson that you learned from Dan, Scott.
It don't matter.
That when you start putting the models together, they look better.
Is. Also,
I'm gonna take the biggest shit of my life today.
oh my god. Okay.
That McRib
It's
is
good.
Mick rumbling.
It's going through you.
Yeah. The McRib is back, and it'll be back soon.
Never heard of Lucas Sin.
Yeah, I was about to look that up. Lucas Sinclair? That's the kid from Stranger Things. Or a kid from Stranger Things, I should say. Lucas Sin, Street Eats is back. 330. Someone well known or something. Whoa, got an article on Forbes. Wow. What's the hype around the McRib?
It's not good.
It
not-
is unparalleled.
Do not think that it is good food.
It is there is nothing like it.
Fair.
If you haven't watched the Simpsons episode on the Rib Witch, you won't understand. I shall rest in the dirt before I consume a McRib. Malev, that is the most closed-minded thing you could say.
Oh.
You can't knock it until you try it once. That's right, Tubbikins.
You can get it without barbecue sauce? Oh my god.
You can't get it without the barbecue sauce.
Oh, okay. I don't even. That's like seeing like a. I don't want to see that.
I definitely. I went to paint night at the Source last night, and I left, and I was like, I'm gonna get a very small snack at McDonald's. And then I says, because like I'm trying to cut back on fast food and whatever, and I says, pulling into the drive-through, I saw the sign that said the McRib is back, and I literally yelled out my window, "Oh my God, the McRib is back!" It's like the remnants of a ghost that just lingers and haunts you. It's just a pressed piece of hamburger. It's not hamburger. It's pork.
Wait. What is a hamburger, though, Evan?
A hamburger is beef, because in America, of course, a hamburger is made out of beef. It's just intuitive, Scott. It's not really meatloaf. The best way to describe it is it's like a McChicken, but instead of being a giant chicken nugget, it's a pork nugget shaped vaguely into the shape of ribs. It was invented in Hamburg, Germany. I assume you mean the hamburger, but I'm gonna go with the McRib was invented in Hamburg, Germany.
Oops.
It's a distinctly fine sandwich.
I've never had one, so I can't say.
Well, I know what you're doing after the stream. Amber says she's cooking dinner, but you're going to show up with McRibs.
McRibs for all. She'll love that.
Honey, I had a great idea.
I did dinner for us today, honey. The McRib. It's pureed, pressed, and formed into a rib shape. That's probably true.
Yeah, just like chicken nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
They don't come out nugget shaped. They get put into molds.
Define a hamburger, please. It's a beef patty on a bun. Done. So I want to, part of me really wants to test a very aggro Greyjoy list on this Thursday's gaming stream.
Oh, are we streaming? I thought you guys were going to play offline.
No, I'm going to tell my boy, whose name escapes me.
Curtis?
Clearly not my boy. No, not Curtis. The guy where I'm playing, Stefan. That he's just gonna have to pick a Thursday that's actually a streaming day. But I want to run an aggro Greyjoy list, but the problem with an aggro Greyjoy list is it has a whole another unit of 12 dudes that I have to paint, as opposed to just like painting 2 groups of drowned men or something like that. So it feels like there's no point in trying a list out like that if I'm not going to use it, but I want to try it out. Has anyone tried the new Iron Painter paints yet? Yes. Actually, cool thing about Monte, they were at Iron Painter as a company was at Monte, which I just thought at face value was cool, you know? I thought it was cool that they were there in an official capacity. They weren't like, there wasn't an Iron Painter booth, but they were there and there was this thing called the Dutch House, where all the Danes hung out, and there were several Iron Painter employees there, and they had a bunch of cameras set up at this painting table, and they were inviting painters to the Dutch House to try the paints out and give their first impressions on camera. I thought it was cool that they were there. It's a larger hobby mainstream company, and they're hanging out at a very small, very artistic little convention thing. Thought it was cool. But yeah, I tried them out, and they're pretty good. You know, they didn't get in my way, which is like the best thing I can say about paints at the moment. I didn't feel like I was slowed down, or that they weren't doing what I wanted them to do, or that I couldn't paint with them in any way while I was working with them. They seemed pretty good. Hi from the UK, and congrats on the award at Monty. Thank you. Scott, you try any head cheese while you were over in India? I did, actually. It was part of the course, the 14-course dinner I had. It was pretty good. Compared to BAM, if the paint line fundamentals. I don't know what you're asking or saying, Mr. Professional Paint Licker.
Broken Anvil Miniatures, if the paint line fundamentals. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's rib-shaped meatloaf, yes.
I mean, like, by that definition, then chicken nuggets are just nugget-shaped meatloaf, too. Because it's
I think we're discovering something right now about...
I fundamentally think that meatloaf refers to a specific type of presentation of food, not just the fact that it is because like a burger isn't a meatloaf. You can have a meatloaf sandwich, but that means you made a meatloaf and then you take a slice of it and you put it on a sandwich.
I think for it to be meatloaf, there needs to be this process where you are actively kneading the meat with salt in it and other additives. Because of the best form.
I'm with Rufus on this. It's not about that part. I agree with you that that's the way you should make a good meatloaf, but a meatloaf has to be a fucking loaf.
Okay,
if it's not a loaf at the end, it's not a fucking meatloaf. All right.
Yeah, that's fair. The name loaf is in the name, so it's calling it a rib-shaped meatloaf. It's like saying a square-shaped circle. You know, maybe if the word loaf only means a shape, right? Which I think it does.
I mean, meatloaf refers to a specific dish, right? And part of that dish is the presentation of it's cooked in a loaf, right?
Yes.
I wouldn't call, like, if a casserole. A casserole is not a meatloaf, even though it might be fundamentally the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might make like a beef casserole that's the same innards of a meatloaf, but if I put it in a casserole dish and I spread it out corner to corner, it's not meatloaf. It's a beef casserole of some kind.
Okay. We figured it out. I'm sorry, I'm very tired. I mean, like, the paint line fundamental, like warm and cool triads. Oh, there definitely are triads. I'm looking at it right now. That like would be like a shadow, mid-tone, highlight grouping. I don't think there are things like layered paints and stuff like that. I think they're all kind of like supposed to be similar coverage and opacity and dilution levels. But that's not to say that they couldn't create something later on. I did get this box, and I haven't opened it yet. I know we're well past the
mail time at the end of the stream-ish.
Yeah. I also have a fully painted Bolton army that we could...
It might be an air compressor.
It's either an air compressor or it's a fully painted Bolton army.
It'd be pretty surprising, but it's plausible.
I think this is more Army Painter stuff. That's why I'm opening it. All right, I was right. It is. The Wet Palette Wargamers Edition XL Wet Palette. Okay.
Is it only for Wargamers?
It's only for Wargamers.
If you paint figures for Monty, you can't use this.
Okay. It's a 27 centimeters by 19 centimeters. 19.8 centimeters. Call it 20. 27 by 20. Where's my... Let's get a tape measure out, or a ruler out here so we can understand what 27 centimeters looks like. So that's how big it is width-wise. And then that's how big it is height-wise. So, like, it's not that much bigger than a Masterson wet palette. But their other wet palette is pretty small. So
yeah, their other one is what I would call a wet palette for use on the go.
Okay.
And I have 3 of them. I really like those little wet palettes, but it is, I would say it's about the size of like, if you have a full size keyboard, it is the area, the number keys and, oh my God, why can't I remember what they're called? The keys in the middle with your arrow keys and stuff and home and stuff. Navigation keys?
Oh. I can't remember actually what it's called.
It's roughly that size. Directional keys. There we go. That's it.
Why not open it and show us? So I just wanted to get back to painting. I didn't want to get sucked into a mail assignment necessarily.
You do this to yourself.
Doesn't
Picked
matter.
up these boxes.
It doesn't matter.
None of this matters.
Okay. There we are.
That is a lot bigger.
2 sponge. These are 50 sheets of wet palette paper. 2 sponges. And then to compare it to their pre-existing wet palette, which I think, no? Apparently I don't have one.
You may have loaned it to Curtis. I could go out to my car and grab mine.
No, we don't need to do that. Don't worry about
That's
that.
far away. I think area-wise, it's probably about 4 times as big. It looks like it's dimensionally twice as big on both edges.
I'm guessing they give you 2 lids because you could, in theory, use. 2 sponges is nice. That's what I meant. These both could be wet palettes if you wanted them to be in a pinch. Obviously, this one has more capacity for water, so it's probably better. I like this. This is good. This is a good change to wet palettes. Having somewhere for a hard palette to be used is a good change. I like that.
Yeah, I like that. The middle layer might be essential to storing it. Let me see the lid real quick.
They also advertise putting brushes or other tools here.
Yeah, that's shit. Don't do it.
Why not?
Okay, cool. So it does have a lid on it, so you can use it without. Storing brushes in your hard palette like that, it's just a recipe for the protector to come off and them to get all finished. That's how I know.
Protectors suck, man. I don't know why they come off so easily.
It's just they're made by the same companies that make condoms or something.
Okay. For some reason, there's a little bit of condensation inside the sponge bag. I don't know what that's about, but maybe in the...
It's because they're shipped slightly moist.
That's bad.
It's good because otherwise they completely harden. They're not moistened with water. That's something to basically keep them pliant and spongy.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds like the worst thing. Wait, what? Seriously?
Yeah.
It's a sanitizer.
Yeah, something like that. It keeps it pliant and spongy and makes it so that sponge material, that narrow cell sponge stuff, when it fully dries, it becomes very difficult to rehydrate, actually.
What? No, it's not that hard. Okay.
Relative to the Masterson sponge material, yeah, it's...
So I don't know. So this counts, right? Same stuff?
Similar, yeah.
Redgrass Games?
Sure.
Okay. I don't mean to put you on the
is
spot here, Evan, but this is not hard to rehydrate.
I disagree. But the Redgrass Games ones are, I would say, a little nicer than that. Yeah. Scott's dying. It has already taken longer than a Masterson sponge. Yeah, the Redgrass Games one needs the same thing where you saturate it and then you start poking at it to get it to rehydrate. Is it fully, truly saturated right now?
I mean, I could put more water in it to have it be like a wet palette.
No, I mean, like, is everything the same consistency as dark gray? Does it still have light spots? Yeah, okay.
I mean, you're right. That was longer. But, I don't know if it's hard or legitimate.
I have gone through the process with these army painter ones when they get fully dry, where I have to sit there basically pounding water into it.
Pounding.
Like where it's sitting in a pool of water, and I am basically rolling my finger over the dry, hard spots to get water to slowly refiltrate through them. So, yeah. Now that said, I think that many, if not most, sponges ship with a little bit of hydration in the packing, including kitchen sponges.
Okay.
So,
I've been educated. I did not know that was a thing. Do you have a favorite piece at Monty? I'm hoping to go next year. I'll answer this question in a different way each time, so it's interesting for people who've already heard it. There was a piece that I thought was really funny. I forget the name of the painter who did it, but it was hands holding, and like forearms, holding this kind of pudgy, cute cat. And there were just, you would have liked this, Evan, there were just tons and tons of micro scratches all over the arms and the hands. And the kitty looked so evil and was like drenched in like flecks of blood. So it was like, you know, it's like evil, mean cat, but it's a fucking cat. And everyone kind of gets scratched by cats, at least cat owners.
I've never been scratched by a cat in my life.
Yeah, okay.
I did get bit by one, though.
Okay. That one was funny. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You
know, I was bitching about this at the store last night. I really wish that there was better coverage of Monte.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. It's fucking terrible.
It's so hard to find out anything about the pieces that were entered, who won, any of this stuff. They don't have social media of their own, but also because it's not like also a gaming convention, the gaming sites aren't covering it.
Yeah.
Right? Goonhammer or whatever isn't there getting pictures. It's very annoying.
Yeah. Like you think GW is bad.
Yeah, pretty much.
They make a magazine that you can buy the next year.
Great.
But yeah, there's nothing good online to check out stuff. Okay, I'm not sure what to do. This color that I got on the cloth is like a very desaturated, kind of grayish tan. And I guess I could try to mix it. But like if you look at the recess, it's like very different. Like there's no blend from where that wash, that skeleton horde settled and like where I'm trying to work right now. Which means that trying to paint these flat areas that have way more shallow volumes is gonna just look really weird and dumb. And so I need a solution here. What should I do? I don't want it to take forever. I don't want to like effectively repaint this shit. That'd be stupid too. Just has impatience, put it in water, come make coffee, come back and it's done. Evan says no. That's hilarious. How did the judging for competitions go? Was it like Golden Demon or Crystal Brush? I don't really know how those competitions really get judged necessarily. But the way that Monty worked is you have 3 man teams. And they had like an app on their phone and they went through and they picked up each piece and like graded it on a score. And they like had conversations about it while they were going through. That's kind of the extent of what I know, because I saw the judges doing it in the category that I was in. Speaking of, in Master Fantasy alone, just a single category, there were over 900 entries.
Oh, I thought he was going to say 9,000 for a section, and I
No.
was going to get really excited.
Yeah. Well, 900 is crazy. That's more than all of Crystal Brush. That's insane.
I understand what you're saying, but the over 9,000 meme is
Ah,
extra
yes.
good.
Very strong. But yeah, that was kind of crazy. I think if I want to match this color that I got on these things, I need some gray, if I'm being quite honest. Oh, I also know about the difference between chromatic gray and neutral gray, while at Romans. And if you didn't know, this is what it is. Chromatic gray is a mixture of all the colors in the color wheel. Added together makes gray. And what's nice about chromatic gray is it's subtle. You can mix it into colors to slightly desaturate it. And it works slowly. It's not aggressive. Neutral gray is just a combination of white and black and is much more aggressive when you mix that into colors. It desaturates things very quickly. So, for your information.
I need a bottle of chromatic gray.
Yeah, I asked that. I was like, do you think I asked, do they make like tube paints of chromatic gray? And he said no. And I was like, why wouldn't they do that? Like,
Yeah,
why?
it just occurs to me that it would be kind of interesting. Like, hey, we would talk about what would Scott's signature series with Pro Krill be?
A little chromatic gray?
Mm-hmm.
Was that inside information that you weren't supposed to give out? No, I mean, you could witness them doing it at Monte. Like
Secrets.
No one told me what was happening. Like, Michael Pisarski and two other people were judging the category that I was in, and they had like a little app thing, and they were putting in numbers. I don't know what the numbers meant. I need some gray. I need to desaturate this a little bit, I think. Ooh, maybe some lilac?
I mean, all that is OSW Zinkiki is a very dark chromatic gray. Mm-hmm.
So no NDA violations this trip. No, that would have been very difficult to do.
I did think it would be really funny if you made a video about Monty that's the same thumbnail. You getting your head kicked or whatever. How I got banned from Europe's best miniature painting competition.
What did I think of Europe? I've been to Europe several times for holidays and stuff, so there wasn't like an expectation that I have that was then not met. But Italy was beautiful. Monty San Savino was beautiful. Oh, someone asked what driving through the Alps was like. That was awesome. It got snowy at one point. I tried to get a lot of car driving footage. There were so many castles, so many. Well, okay, for an American, it seemed like a lot. There was like 6 castles just on the highway that you could just see perched in mountains as we drove past. It was like, this is crazy. Obviously, there's probably way more if you actually go out and exploring the Alps. But that was really cool to see. Yeah, the Italian countryside, which I believe is Tuscany, was beautiful, right? Tuscany isn't like a place; it's the Italian countryside.
Tuscany isn't a place; it's a state of mind.
Am I wrong about that? I could be wrong about that.
Never mind.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm choosing
Pretty
to not.
sure Tuscany's in a specific Italian region. In fact, I'm looking it up right now, and yeah, it is the region kind of basically around Florence.
Okay, the region.
Central Italy, western side. Actually, I would actually say this is probably northern Italy.
Tuscany's a region.
But it says central Italy. But it looks like northern Italy to me. South of
it's like the Midwest.
So
okay.
I guess, it's the Midwest. Sure.
Okay. Is Miniac going to do Ho's own color paints? Then, man, what?
Hang on. Let me.
Miniac going to do. Were there a lot of people filming and taking pictures? Let me think about that. There were lots of people taking pictures, yeah. Tons of people with cell phones snapping pics.
It's all right. I figured out what you were trying to say and I responded. So.
What was he saying?
He was saying, "Are you planning on doing any signature colors or?"
Oh, gotcha.
I said no current plans.
Is. Wow, that is just not anywhere near the color.
I don't know, it looks like a few inches to me.
Nice. Did I meet any fans? Yeah, I met lots of fans. At least more than I expected. I kind of expected a lot of my fan base is in America. So I didn't expect to have a lot of people, but there was definitely a decent amount. And I would say
it is miniature painters.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of a target-rich environment.
That's very true. Yeah, it was good. It was good. I actually think the color on the model is closer to an ochre than it is what I'm using right now. So I wonder if I start from ochre, if that's going to get me what I want. Let's see. Let's grab this paint maybe. Oh, we'll try these two. Oroco from Scale 75 and just straight up ochre from AK Interactive. One a little bit more desaturated than the other. Scale 75, a little less yellow, maybe a Scotia green in there. Yeah, there were some Mexican fans there as well. That was super cool. Man, I talked to people from everywhere. I talked to Danish people, Swedish people, Norwegian people, Italians, obviously. There's a ton of people. It was really cool. I think I'm gonna start with the desaturated ochre. That seems like that's gonna get us somewhere closer.
So that's all you are, Twitch, is just thirst traps.
Yes.
Certainly how it feels every time I open the main page and it's like the broad recommendations. It's like, yeah, channels you're following that are live. Oh, okay, cool. There's Monument. There's channels we think you'll like. Hot tub streams. Okay, sure. Hot tube stream when? Well, I don't know what a hot tube stream is, but hot tub will happen when we have a hot tub in here.
You know what a hot tube stream is.
It's on a different website. I mean, we should just replace the gaming table with a hot tub.
Yeah.
And then get like a little floating gaming table inside of it. It can play like Blood Bowl in the hot tub.
It's like inflated.
Yeah, it's exactly. And it's like rumbling around because it's the bubbles from the hot tub.
God, dude. Imagine setting up a camera for that.
Imagine even just like trying to mitigate like all of the vapor that would be like wafting off of it and condensing on lenses and stuff.
That'd be miserable. The whole experience would be miserable.
Well, except for being in the hot tub.
That would be nice. For you, it'd be miserable.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds like a lot of work. Sounds like an interesting problem to solve, though.
Yeah. Kinda. I think I need black, actually. I think I need some black.
Tiers, some sort of fundraiser. Yeah, the next Kickstarter that will never happen. That will be the final stretch goal. Is the hot tub stream, the hot tub war game stream. It's got to be specific.
Yeah.
Where we play something, Blood Bowl or AOS or song.
Don't think I'll be doing a Kickstarter campaign anytime soon.
That's what I said. The Kickstarter, that's not happening.
Yeah.
But if it does, we'll put that $2 million, $3 million stretch goal in there. Hot tub painting stream. Yeah, my wet palette is the hot tub. Just use a dry palette and rely on all of the moisture in the air. Of course, Jay for Beyond's Battle is summoned back to say Root would be a great hot tub stream.
Fucking A, dude. Okay, I found the color. Black was indeed the key to get a really muddy and dark khaki color to.
Yeah, I think that game has its roots in you.
Yeah, this is This is now a nicer color.
Lumix Beast, the problem is that hot tub sucked. It says we should do a hot tub stream at the hotel during Adepticon.
There is a hot tub, and we did, or at least
I partook in the hot tub.
You did?
And it sucked because it was like broken. The jets didn't work. I was kind of disappointed, but I made it happen. We did this long trek to get the visitors, Eric and Miscast and stuff. We all went and got swimsuits so we could go to the hot tub. And then this plans fell through. And then before I left on the last day, I was like, I'm gonna go sit in the hot tub.
This will be worthwhile.
God damn it. After walking around that car park to find a place that has swimsuits. We did it. We did it, chat. We got there. There is a picture around Adepticon last year that I posted on the Discord of me sitting in the hot tub. Just like, there, this is obligatory. I have proven that the hot tub happened.
Oh, you hotel hot tub equals people soup. Yeah, I suppose so, but they're still nice. Okay, I think I don't need any white. I think if I just work with this cream color that I have, that will be good enough for a final highlight for some of these higher up details, like the elbows and the torso. Not these lower areas. Okay, all right. I often like to do this when I'm speed painting. I like to say if this particular part of the khaki takes 2 layers of paint, and especially if the second layer is like really not a big lift. I like to do both at the same time, just because it just makes it easier for me to keep track of all the steps that I've done if I do like that at the same time. How long am I streaming for today? Probably for another 15 minutes, Ash, like we normally do. Also, what's up, bro?
Yeah, it's 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., except that really means it's like 1:10 to 4:10.
Yeah. All right, cool. I'm not really doing it, but I'm kind of using a technique that another smaller YouTuber mentioned to me. I thought it was a really cool idea, actually. His name is Nick CC Minis. I don't know if his video is out yet, but he is doing a speed painting video, more of a batch painting video. It's a batch painting video. That makes it. That's what it is. And he is taking advice from like the people that revolutionized like the manufacturing. I don't even know how to describe this, honestly. But basically the idea is that every single action you do has some kind of classification and a cost. And the more you can align all those costs in one thing, the better. So for instance, a very small example of that is like these song minis. There are 4 variants in a 12-man unit, and there are 3 of each. And so I've grouped the 4 variants into groups of 3 models. And I pick up and I paint each of the identical model one after the other, so that the information that I learned about what I should be painting, I can just like immediately transfer over onto the next model. And that it helps me to think less. If I can learn everything I need to learn about the first one, then the next 2 should be easier. But he went even further with this, where like he'll paint the left glove of the one model, the left glove of the next model, the left glove of the next model. It's like the same, you're thinking the same way for every single thing you pick up. And then furthermore, all 3 models should be on the same stick. So when you pick up the one stick, you have all 3, and you paint glove, 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 hat, 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 boot, boot, boot. And it's like you're just not, there's little thinking. There's very little thinking. Or there's less thinking, I should say. And that was a really cool idea. And I think that's like a cooler way to think about batch painting than any method that I've heard so far. I've heard the thing with the sticks and picking them up at the same time, but not to that degree, if that makes sense. Lean, I think that's right. I think that's what it is. Lean manufacturing, that sounds correct. Because there was a name and it was based on like the original creator of the method. And I think lean is right. Maybe it's not, I can't remember. Hopefully that makes sense.
Nothing makes sense anymore.
What? Nothing makes sense anymore? I'm not exactly doing that right now. Maybe I shouldn't have painted the inside of his chainmail sleeve with khaki. It kind of seemed like it was fabric, but I think I'd rather it be black. Because there's khaki immediately below it, and so it'd be nice to have a little bit of contrast. It's nice to have this color be a little thin, because now I'm like tinting the part of the contrast paint that is contrast paint often leaves like flat surfaces, is a little gray, like showing the other color through the translucent layer. So having like another little layer of translucent color to kind of make that fully opaque is nice. I like that. That's how I've always done my batch painting. I figured that's how most people did it, assembly line, a part at a time. I think if you think like a robot, you act like a robot. Okay, ground affected.
Now we're talking.
I think, the way people think about batch painting is that I'm gonna pick up my model and I'm gonna paint all the khaki on my model and then I'm gonna put it down. This is different to me because it's like, I'm not gonna paint all of the leather. I'm just gonna paint the one glove and then I'm gonna move on to the next identical one glove. That's the difference for me. Did he let me drive on the Autobahn? No, he did not. I didn't drive at all.
Played the Outer Wilds while you were out of town.
Oh, cool. What's that?
It's a game.
Okay.
Really good. No spoilers.
Okay.
I don't know if you would actually like it or not.
What's the genre?
It's big think. Exploration.
Okay.
Makes you think about life in your mind.
Story based, not multiplayer.
Space. It's an adventure game in the more classical sense. It's not nearly as like silly as something like Monkey Island or whatever, but it's not. There's no combat, none of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say it's like a 3D point and click adventure game, kind of. It has some very specific story conceits. It's very spooky.
Did you like it?
I loved it.
Nice.
I have multiple times in the last several years, I've been watching a video about some other game, and they'll start talking about the Outer Wilds, and then they stop and they go, if you haven't played the Outer Wilds, stop watching this video and just go play it. And finally, I would continue to not watch those videos because I didn't want to have it spoiled. And I finally got around to it. Hardcore worth. It was very good.
Okay.
Also made me feel like I had a very big brain.
Those are always good things.
Because I didn't look up anything until I was done with the game, and I looked up one thing to make sure I was right about the conclusion that I made, and I was. Like, cool. I have the biggest brain.
This is a Monty-inspired painting, Scott. Oh, I know. I actually do want to paint display models. Low key.
Just display these. Easy.
Easy. Yeah.
Cool mini or not, display models.
I've definitely haven't painted a display model in a long time. And yeah, going there, definitely got the juices flowing again for painting a nice big 75mm display model for sure.
Dadbot Nap God.
Dabon Nap God and Yeti Boss, thank you for the subs. Yeti Boss says, "Hey yo, I'm awake for the stream."
John, did I tell you that Manticore riding lady is $170? We were talking about GW stuff last night, and I can't remember if I mentioned that. Stuff is expensive.
Hell yeah.
The profit margins must be absolutely wild.
I think they are.
What is the name of the piece that you painted with Roman?
Ghoul Queen.
That's it.
I wish I had it here. I don't have it here.
It's from Mindwork Games, right?
Yeah. Sadly, a limited edition model. But she gives off such strong Bavmorda vibes from Willow. I fucking love that model.
Yeah.
So the only feedback I had for Roman, because he asked for it, was
Don't be so mean to me.
no, he painted an academic bust from Mindwork, and I would have loved to have painted an academic bust because he was just moving so much faster than me. Because I was painting the Ghoul Queen, and it's like a very large model. And he was like finishing his base coats much faster than me. Like, and he's already going to be faster than me because like I'm learning a process that he is very comfortable with. But it would have been nice to be a little bit faster. So if you ever go to a private coaching and you're considering painting a bust, I would definitely recommend painting a academic bust, which is just a smaller model, less material to paint, essentially.
Yeah, Dadbod, you'll just have to go back and watch the VOD for an answer to that question.
Someone else asked that same question. That's fucking weird.
People want to know, Scott. People want to know.
Roman smelled like nothing in particular.
No, don't answer it. You have to go back and watch the VOD. I said so.
We need to collect that AdSense money.
Yeah, sure. Or 1/100th of a cent or whatever it is.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Golden Kappa train.
We got any James Gunn fans in the chat?
Everybody's a fan of James Gunn.
Yeah, apparently. I'm just curious why James Gunn Marvel movies have like a consistent high rating when other ones do not. Curious if anyone.
The simple answer is I think that they're more fun.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, even though they undercut any possible amount of sincerity really, really hardcore. They at least embrace the silly fun, like some Marvel movies. I don't know. It's a good question.
That's a fair answer, though. Because I agree with that.
Yeah, see, the thing is like, we've talked about this before. I agree with your criticisms about his movies. I don't necessarily think that they suck as bad as you seem to. But
The Volume 3 did not offend me as much as the previous ones have.
I didn't actually see Volume 3. It just didn't feel important to watch.
I think it just came out on like Netflix and shit. So
Probably something like that. I don't know. It came out
Feel
last year.
yeah.
It just the Marvel movies are over. They did it. It's kind of how I feel about it.
That's how I feel about it too. Yeah.
People are like, man, the Marvel's opening weekend was the worst opening weekend in Marvel history. And I'm like, yeah. Because we finished the Marvel movie thing. Make something else. The entire arc finished with Iron Man doing his thing. That was it. We did it. We got there. 28 movies or whatever it was.
The soundtrack is fucking litty. That is very true. His directing style merges perfectly with MCU movies and what the public expects of one, I think. Okay.
It's completely fair.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. Iron Man to Endgame is sort of like, there are not good movies in there, but the arc completes itself, and then it's like, why are we still here? I've enjoyed the shows that I've watched since then. I liked WandaVision. I also, I have seen movies since then. I saw Doctor Strange too. Stuff. It's just, it no longer feels like, I don't feel like they're actually leading towards anything, even though I know that they're trying to build up Kang the Conqueror or whatever.
What?
Yeah, that's the new Thanos, is Kang the Conqueror.
Okay.
If that were true, Kiyasu, I don't know. Then we would have comic books that come to an end and actually stay ended, as opposed to endlessly being reinvented.
Forgot to paint the elbow of this Archer variant on every single one.
Ilgigio says, hi, this is my first time seeing someone doing this kind of stuff. Did you get your eyes like superpowers? My eyes would bug after 2 minutes. Painting miniatures isn't that hard, truthfully.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have super eyes. I mean, I don't find myself...
Definitely don't, because you're wearing contacts.
That's true. I don't find myself needing diopters, though.
Yeah.
The zoomy things.
Sexy gogs?
Sexy gogs. That's the official term.
That's what they're called. If you look them up on Amazon, it's sexy gogs. But comic books are a little different. They're not sequential. Mostly they have the same characters, but interpreted. Yeah, I understand that. But when we're talking about letting your heroes go and moving on, that would mean not buying the new interpretation and just kind of living with, I really enjoyed that story that was told with those characters. And now I want to go read a new story with different characters. Not the same character, but slightly reinvented a different way. That's all I'm saying. I don't actually have a problem with that. It's kind of nice to see different people adapt the same material different ways. But, I feel like sometimes you have a definitive adaptation and it seems very shallow to not really... You know what? Actually, here we go. I really, really liked the Joker movie because it was a definitively very different interpretation of the character that didn't feel like it was just trying to put someone else's vision on screen.
Do you think that it's a opinion that people don't like that movie?
No, I think that was a very popular movie because it happened to be a very good movie.
Okay. I also like that movie a lot.
The movie could have been much worse, and I still would have really liked that it existed in the way that it did.
The way you shared your opinion made it seem like you were expecting backlash. Am I wrong about that?
No, you're right. I formulated the statement poorly.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that was an opinion that people didn't like it. The marvelization of cinema on the like stories of old YouTube channels. That sounds like a cool video.
Avenger, I feel like it's the opposite. Marvel movies are an example of they want to put tons of money in and get tons of money out. They don't swing for singles. Even though they're banking on reliable stuff, they're banking on reliable big hits. Less of them.
AKA not Morbius.
AKA not Morbius.
Sag.
I don't know. I mean, Sony spent some good money on Morbius.
Yeah, but I assume
It was definitely good money after bad because that movie was not good. And all of the things that they did to try and reinvent the character were poor choices on top of that.
I'm so sad.
Just make him a fucking vampire. It's fine.
My...
Or make him a weird mutant vampire like in the 90s animated Spider-Man cartoon where he doesn't suck blood, he sucks plasma with hand suckers. Flies around for no reason. It's amazing. Fuck it.
So sad. Why did my hair have to be the one that got dumped on? Why did my hair have to become the fucking meme, bro? So sad. What's everyone think of Netflix's Rebel Moon coming out soon? I haven't seen it yet. It's on my watch list, but from what I've heard from everyone and read in reviews, it is beautiful. Is monotony the right word? It's not special in the slightest. It does nothing new, but it's good looking.
We'll see.
I haven't seen it yet though. That's totally someone else's opinion.
Right? But I don't know. I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what.
Every time I hear the title Rebel Moon, I think it's talking about Rebel Wilson.
Oh yeah.
And it makes me want to see the movie less.
I think it's talking about fucking Star Wars. But it's not. It's not a Star Wars movie. But it sounds like
you've been in Star Wars mode the last few months.
That's very true. I have been.
I still haven't made it all the way through Obi-Wan. I'm kind of bouncing off that show.
That's okay. I bounced off Mando season 3. I tried 2 episodes and it just wasn't for me. Have you watched Ahsoka?
No.
Okay. I don't know. It's literally a Star Wars movie. Oh, okay, nice.
It's a Star Wars movie he failed to sell to Disney and rewrote a new theme over top. I'm more interested now.
Dadbod Napgod says, every time I catch a stream, it's let's chat about movies and TV and also Scott paint something, I guess? Yeah.
We talked about Monty for like 2 hours, all right? Now it's time to talk about popular culture. Specifically movies and games.
It was... Star Wars Geek says it was adapted from his rejected Star Wars story. Oh, okay. That's kind of cool.
It's what I just read.
Is that what you just read? I'm sorry.
Fucking Scott not paying attention to me.
Sorry, dude. That's cool, though. I didn't know that.
All right, chat. I am now soliciting suggestions for who we should raid.
Yes. Who, chat? Okay. Looking good. Did we finish all the khaki on these guys?
Sounds like they're playing like a game of shuffleboard or something.
Maybe. There were people laughing a lot earlier this morning.
Yeah, like yelling and laughing.
Yeah, in that direction.
What's our giveaway count at? Flossmith, we don't have a giveaway going currently. Scott, off stream, said that he hates his viewers and doesn't want to do giveaways anymore. That's an exact quote and definitely what Scott said.
Very true. Marco. I just watched The Killer. Oh yeah, I have that. I just saw that one. I didn't see it, but I saw it.
Was Marco at Monty?
No. Well, not that I know. No.
The hell, Marco?
What the hell, Marco? Haunted studio space?
Too spooky.
Maybe.
What happened with all the broken airbrushes? Well, I'll tell you what happened. I put them back where they were, and then they sat there.
Yes, I have several brushes that are inoperable.
As far as I could tell, all of them.
Maybe.
What? Oh my god, really? Stream died.
Whatever.
Are we back? We should be back. It's showing green. I see F's in chat, though.
Whatever, dude. Fucking Twitch is such a fucking joke. Or whatever. It's not Twitch. It's gotta be fucking Comcast.
Something like that.
Such a fucking stupid thing.
I wonder if it is Comcast, I wonder if we could get around it with a VPN. It might be throttling a specific type of connection, so we might be able to get around it with something else.
Okay. It's a good idea.
It wasn't an attempted raid glitch. We haven't ended the stream yet. We haven't raided. Raid doesn't do anything. I think that, yeah, we should raid Marco. He's painting a display mini of some kind.
That seems apropos.
Yeah.
Is apt short for apropos? Or like, did it derive from that? Wow, that was the glitch destiny. Yeah, no, it just our stream just died, y'all.
Shortened form of. You know what apt is an abbreviation for, Scott? Apartment.
Oh, it's not applicable.
It's just like, that is not the definition I was looking for.
Oh, okay.
They definitely sound like they're playing a game. That was a big aww.
Application?
I don't have. Okay, hang on. Apt etymology.
You come on, Evan. You're a dictionary.
I am, but in this case, you're saying is it short for apropos, and I'm feeling like the answer is no, and I am correct. It's derived from Latin.
But they still mean the same thing, right? Like apt means applicable, like makes sense with. Apropos, similar? No, not similar.
No, apropos is like it's appropriate to a situation, but also like with regard to. Whereas with apt is like, yeah, it's definitely an overlap, but it's it also means like tending towards something.
Okay.
No.
What
I speak a lot as I am apt to do. Is the other way to use apt, and you wouldn't say that apropos.
Okay.
I appear on streams, which is apropos, because I speak a lot.
Okay.
As I am apt to do. There we go.
Okay.
Both in one sentence.
Overlap, but not used in the same way.
Yeah. Jeez, Scott.
I heard someone use the word apropos, just like I would use the word apt, and I was like, I wonder if that is related.
Well, you know what word I'm going to use?
Raid.
Yeah, you got it.
All right, chat, we're at 4:22.
Hey-o.
And we are ending the stream. Sending you over to Marco Frizzoni, a lovely hobbyist here on YouTube and also on Twitch. He's painting a display model, so enjoy that. Send him some Miniac love. But otherwise, we're gonna catch you this Thursday for the final, not the final, but probably the final Song of Ice and Fire stream for at least a little bit.
The last Song of Ice and Fire stream on the internet.
Ever.
For any channel.
Well, at least Bolton versus Greyjoy practice matches. The last one of those this Thursday, 7 p.m. CST, same place right here. So come tune in for that. Otherwise, have a wonderful Tuesday. Thank you so much for the subs and all the support and for hanging out. And send Marco my love. Otherwise, peace, y'all. See ya.